When you know, you know. Footy final season. Live it daily.
He strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal.
ABC NRL Daily, ABC AFL Daily. Search for those podcasts on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Sport.
Party people! Party people! Let's make this a night they talk about forever and ever and ever.
Let's get out of here with the most remarkable 40-20 you've ever seen in your life.
Forever and ever and ever.
Elabody to the corner, pushes off, goes in to score.
Let's make this. Hell yeah, everybody's gonna know our name.
The trickery, the wizardry, the mastery of the Adam Reynolds kick. Ryan Pappenhausen over for Melbourne.
Everybody's gonna know our name.
Rugby league, don't you love it?
That is pure magic.
Pass to the edge is exquisite for Molitano. And Ronaldo goes in.
That is absolutely extraordinary.
I am literally on the edge of my seat.
We are the party people. We set the bar and we take it way too far.
Put a fork in me, I'm almost done.
That is beautiful football.
We like to do what's never been done and break all the rules and make all the fun.
Second man to Walsh. Walsh will go himself.
Have some fun. No chill, just thrills, and we're happy to share. We are trying to provide. Throw your hands in the air.
Short side left to Xavier Coates. He flies through the air in the corner.
I love rugby league. How good is that?
Kenny to the left for Cleary at the line, pops it up to Talangi, second man McLean.
Lightning hands. Toto over in the left corner. Game, set, bingo.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Final Series.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And on the ABC Listen app.
If you've just joined us, welcome along to the first of the NRL preliminary finals for 2025. It's a bit of a patchy night in Melbourne. It's been really lovely and warm throughout the day, but a few showers coming in off Port Phillip Bay as the natural light has gone, and now we wait for the fans to roll in here. It's a sellout here, it's a sellout in Brisbane on Sunday. Two huge games to decide who will meet in the 2025 Premiership decider at Stadium Australia on Sunday week. My name's Quentin Hull. It's great to be alongside a man who knows this time of year. He's been to 4 grand finals himself. Ryan Hoffman with me in the box. Ian Cohen down on the touchline. And we'd love to hear from you in the lead up to kickoff, which is at 7:50 local time. You can get in touch on 0467 920 222. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. 0467 920 222 is that number. The team news is in. And as far as the manipulations from what we saw named on Tuesday, there's not much. Sean Blaw's going to start, and Adavalo Lusati goes to the bench for Melbourne. So Blaw, one of 3 key inclusions for the Storm. He's missed a little bit of time with a throat injury. Ryan Pappenhausen didn't play against Canterbury Bankstown in the qualifying final here a fortnight ago due to HIA protocols. But the flying mullet, Paps, is back at full back for the Storm, and Jerome Hughes, the reigning Dally M medalist, has only played 25 minutes in 2 months, had some time out with a dislocated shoulder, came back in round 27 when quite a few of the Storm guys were rested against the Broncos, but he played and broke his arm. So he has not had a lot of footy of recent times, but he's back at halfback for the Storm tonight. It means that Grant Anderson, Joe Chan and Jonah Pezzett have made way for those 3 inclusions, while for the Sharks, too good for the Roosters in week 1, too good for the Raiders in Canberra in a semi-final last Saturday night, and only the one change from that team with Tom Hazelton concussed in that game, and Oregon Kaufusi comes in. So it's a bit of a switch from what we saw from week 1 with Kaufusi playing and Hazelton out, and Hazelton came back in for week 2 only to be concussed. So it's basically the same team that played against the Roosters at Shark Park in that elimination final. A special guest to join us in just a moment, but let's get down to Ian Cohen on the touchline, because Koza, the Storm, as we speak, are just running past you to start their warm-up.
Absolutely they are. Good evening to you again, Q, and Hoffy as well, and they're making their way out. Will Warbrick is the last man to make his way out onto Amy Park. Conditions are very good. We've had a couple of showers through the day, but they seem to have abated now, and I think we'll have a pretty clear night. It's a reasonably warm night by Melbourne standards as well, which is enjoyable, but still Storm are making their way out. They are to the right-hand end of your ABC app, and that's the way they're going to run. They're going to run from right to left. At the toss of the coin, it was Cronulla that won, and they elected to kick off, and Melbourne Storm will run from right to left. But look, it is a sellout crowd. There is plenty of purple here. We can see Cronulla obviously over on the far side, and they're waving flags at the moment. They will be vocal, no doubt about that, but there'll be lots and lots of purple in the house tonight.
Good on you, Koza. Great to have you on board, and already we're getting messages from around the place. Coco and Macy from Baraba, up, Cronulla. Francis text, it's too risky playing Jerome tonight. Got a guy that might answer that in a moment. Hoffy, another welcome to you. As we mentioned, it's a familiar scene, Melbourne on preliminary final night. And the stats are massive, and even you think during those two COVID-affected years, in both 2020 and 21, Melbourne qualified for home preliminary finals that they had to take to Brisbane because of the lockdowns during that time. So there's a lot of guys out there tonight that the nerves will be a part of the evening, but there'll be some familiarity as well.
Yeah, it's a familiar time to them. They do know finals time. Obviously, a lot of those players out there on the paddock right now played in the grand final last year, and that's on the back of everyone's mind. But let's not forget Cronulla. They've also got players that played in the prelim last year, so they knew they were only one game away as well.
Justin Rodsky is our guest. He's the Chief Executive of the Melbourne Storm, and very keenly having a look at his men warm up in front of us here. Where's your spot, by the way, for the game, Justin? Ours pretty good. Welcome to you.
Thank you. Yeah, great to be with you. I'll be just next door, actually, on the other side of the coach's box. So Craig Bellamy and the coaching staff are just here on your left, and then I'll be in the corporate lounge next door with all our partners and sponsors and owners and all the corporate crew.
What's the fortnight been like since you beat the Dogs?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Like, it's funny because obviously the break is well and truly needed, and a great opportunity for the squad and the players to obviously recover first and foremost for those that played, and then for any players who are injured to make sure that they're fully ready to go and come back fit and firing to play tonight. So it's a good opportunity to take stock, rest up, start to plan and prepare, freshen up, and then obviously come into tonight hopefully ready to go with a full strength team, which we've got tonight, which is really pleasing.
And we're saying how this is quite a regular occurrence for Melbourne to earn a home preliminary final. Across the journey, we were wondering whether or not you'd get this game tonight or whether you'd play it tomorrow night. You're sort of either before the AFL Grand Final or on the same day thereof. Are you happy with where it's landed?
Very happy with where it's landed. I was a little bit worried, to be honest, early on when the fixture came out for the final series and the NRL went down the path of the Saturday-Sunday for finals week 2. I thought, hang on a minute, this is going to snooker us into a corner here, and we're going to end up having to play on either the Saturday night after the grand final or even the Sunday, which the Sunday would have been okay, but the Saturday night after the AFL Grand Final in Melbourne clearly is not a good fixture, and scheduling from a crowd perspective, from a game perspective, just from an overall optics perspective here in Melbourne, you don't want to be doing that. So I obviously went into lobbying mode with the NRL to say, look, if we do get through, and we did, clearly the Friday night preliminary final in Melbourne at Amy Park, the night before the AFL Grand Final, is the best slot for us. And in the end, the NRL obviously did that.
So how does that conversation work? Because we're talking about the 48-hour, in inverted commas, advantage that you'll have over Penrith or Brisbane should you go through to the grand final. So what you see, you've won the game, and then take us from there. How do you get in touch with Head House? What happens?
Yeah. I mean, there's conversations between Andrew Abdo and myself. I mean, I'm not specifically involved in the strategic decisions that the NRL are making, but obviously I'm putting forward the Melbourne Storm's view on where we think it should land. And once the Raiders were out, it actually made the decision a little bit easier because we, in the end, were the top team that's still left in the final series. So whilst I don't actually think it really is going to make a difference one way or the other for the grand final team, I mean, if you win on Sunday at Suncorp, you're still getting 7 days off and you're playing in a grand final. So yes, we get an extra couple of days, but at the same time, we did finish second spot. The Raiders finished first. They're now out of the final series. So in terms of preference for scheduling, I think that the NRL's made the right call. I definitely think they've made the right call in terms of what's going on around Melbourne. Sell out tonight, unbelievable stage and opportunity, not just for the Storm, but for the game of rugby league here in Melbourne. And, I just don't think it really is going to matter in the end when it comes down to the game next Sunday week, whether we're there or Cronulla's there.
Justin, coming from Essendon, you've never been so busy this time of year.
I'm usually in Noosa this time of year. I've already booked my holidays.
Yeah, you're enjoying, obviously teams want to be in finals sort of time, and it's such a big weekend with the club, obviously with Jersey Flegg playing in a grand final tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. It's so exciting for the Jersey Flegg boys to be going up to Sydney, play the Panthers. We've strategically put in place a plan, 2, 3, 4 years ago now to invest in academies, invest in pathways, to start to look at opportunities for more Victorians to play the game of rugby league. Some things have gone our way around rugby union with the Rebels and some other things around, local clubs here in Melbourne that has helped us. But we knew there was an underbelly there. We knew that it just needed to be mobilised, and we've put the structure in place, the strategy in place, we've put investment behind it, along with the NRL and other stakeholders. And now what we're seeing are the fruits of that. And, this team tomorrow is going to be playing, that on Sunday that's going to be playing, is not all Victorians, but there are a lot of Victorians playing in that team. If you look at our Harold Matts team from this year, the under-17s team, all Victorians. And that is a great sign for rugby league here in Victoria. And I genuinely believe that this is a massive growth market for the NRL and for the game of rugby league. And we've put a strategy in place, a plan in place, along with the NRL. We're investing in it, and now we're starting to see the fruits of that.
With the week, with the build-up to such a big game, and obviously Cronulla a big opponent, how was, as being the CEO, how do you get a feel around the team? Like, I know you're not in there in every meeting, but how do you feel sort of around the team on how things are going?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, I obviously play more of a role in the administration and the commercial areas, obviously checking in with Frank Panisi, Craig Bellamy, the leaders within the footy department, just to understand how things are going, what are the updates on key players, how are those injuries progressing, is there anything we need to be doing to support the planning and preparation to make sure we're doing everything possible to make sure that the players are ready to go and that they've been given everything they need to best come out and perform tonight. So that's really my job. I mean, I'm not in there in the change rooms or in the team meetings. That's not my role, and I'm very respectful of that. I think that one of the most important parts of being a CEO is ensuring that our entire club is prepared and ready to go, and for me that's putting great trust and faith in obviously a couple of people who are extremely experienced, not just a couple of people actually, our entire football department. As you know, Hoffy, whether it's Lockie Penfold, whether it's Craig Bellamy, whether it's Frank Panisi, we have a lot of experience in this football program who have been here and done that, and we've played in 10 of the last 11 preliminary finals, so there's a lot of trust that we put in everyone in our program to go out to prepare as best as they can, and I'm just there to make sure that we do everything we can to support them. And then on the flip side of that, from a commercial point of view, there are so many opportunities for us, for our club. 2 home finals in Melbourne, a great opportunity on a preliminary final night, huge national audience tonight to showcase our brand for our partners, for our corporate partners. For our members, continuing to look at how we can grow our membership base. We've broken another record this year, nearly 42,000 members here in Melbourne. So we thank all of our members who have jumped on board this year. It's the club's in a really, really good spot, both on and off the field. Something we're extremely proud of, but we don't rest on our laurels either. It's continuous improvement and standards that need to remain high to make sure that we don't ever let that slip.
Justin Rodsky is with you. He's the Chief Executive of the Melbourne Storm. Quentin Hull and Ryan Hoffman with you for Finals Footy on ABC Sport. If you are just joining us, the news from the teams is there's not much news to bring you. Sharks are 1-17. Dan Atkinson's the replacement player for the Storm. Lasati to the bench. Blore to start. And Chan, the replacement player for Melbourne. Now, everything's rolling along well, Justin, as you mentioned, but surely somewhere there is plan B ready to go when Craig Bellamy says, I've had enough. We've been on this 12-month merry-go-round for the last couple of years. We wait till about May, and then, is Craig going around next year? So is there somewhere in the annals of the Storm officers a post-Bellamy era plan? Because surely it's getting closer to being enacted than not.
Yeah, well, that's the problem,
and it's a huge change. Let's be honest. When he moves, the rest of the competition is going to look at this place and say, well, can they keep it up?
Yeah.
Can they keep it up?
Definitely. And look, he's not replaceable. He never will be. And that's one thing that we know. We have had a couple of plans in place, but they keep getting thrown in the bin because he keeps renewing, which is something that we're very happy about. But in all seriousness, we do have a lot of confidence and faith in our system now and our structure around the assistant coaches, the experienced people within our football program who I just mentioned. Now,
this is why the pathways are so important for you guys now, right?
It is. It absolutely is. And that transition is not going to be easy. So no one's hiding away from that. If you look at any of the great sporting teams who have had significant coaches over the journey, whether it be Kevin Sheedy at Essendon for 27 years, whether it be Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, there's a whole range of different examples of where coaches and successful coaches who have become synonymous with teams and and such a big part of this whole club and our culture.
Hey, Hoffy, how's Essendon and Man United gone since those two guys have left?
Exactly right. Yeah. So that's exactly my point. So we're not sitting here saying this is going to be an easy transition, because it's not. This is Craig Bellamy, one of the most successful coaches in history, not just in Australian sport, but global sport. So we're doing everything we can to make sure everyone around him is gaining the experience that they need, and we're building the structures around them to make sure that we're ready to go. Who, in fact, ends up becoming that senior coach that takes over from Craig, when that does happen, I don't know, and I can't tell you yet, but we'll certainly have a process in place. I can tell you that it'll be someone, I think, with Melbourne Storm DNA. That's going to be really important to us. But we've got a great lineup of assistant coaches at the moment who are building their experience capability. We've got a number of players, ex-players and ex-coaches who are in the NRL market at the moment who would be suitable candidates as well. And then there is a guy called Billy Slater out there who currently coaches the Queensland team and works in the media. And
if you get Bill to coach, mate, that'll be one of the greatest.
I reckon coaching 3 games a year, Hoffy's a bit more enticing than it is for doing it week in, week out.
So, we're just slowly chipping away at Billy, but we're working on Nicole as well, of course.
Yeah, but Craig won't leave the club, will he? Like, he'll still be involved. Like, it's not going to be, say, where he'll go off and take over another team. I can't see happening. So there
hasn't he got a spot on the Gold Coast ready to sort of...
Yeah, but I believe there'll be more a transition. Yeah. There'll be more a transition, I suppose, rather than go from zero.
I think so, yeah. I can't see him going to another club. I mean, he is well and truly part of the furniture here. He's been here for 24 years now, or coming up to 24 years. So it's going to be... and that's one of the things that keeps driving him. He doesn't know what he's going to do in retirement, which is fantastic for us, because he still has got as much energy and passion. And, you've seen him in the box. You've seen him in his press conferences. You've seen the way he's still connecting so well with the players. And, you combine all those three together, and that is the perfect recipe for a successful coach. And then you've got the experience that he brings. So... we'll be hoping that he continues on for a long time to come. He's only a young man, I think, at 67, Coffee, somewhere there. So what's Wayne Bennett, 72? So, I keep telling him that Wayne Bennett's got 5 years on him, so he's got plenty of time left.
He has always liked beating Wayne, so
he does.
Exactly. Past him.
Well, that might be the key. We don't want Wayne to give it up in that respect.
Yeah, well, that's right. But if you look at it, look at Chris Fagan in the AFL, right, coaching the Brisbane Lions. The AFL went down this trend of these young coaches coming through, but that's not necessarily the formula. When you look at the older coach, the experience they bring, as long as they can connect in with the players, I don't think it matters how old they are.
You're a club, Justin, that has been able to fill holes of massive names, and without getting too deep into the marsh here, I'm just going to ask you about one name, because I call with his manager all the time, and Clinton always gives me a little twinkle in my eye, Clinton Chifovsky, who is the player manager of one of the most marketable Melbourne Storm players we have ever seen. And the guy can play. He's a Churchill medalist. Ryan Pappenhausen. He's on the books at least for next year. Have you got an update for us? Where are you at?
No, I don't at this point. So that's something that we'll sit down at the end of the season and have that discussion both with Paps and with Chock. And, we'll see where he's at. We'll see where the club's at. As you say, he's one of the most marketable players in the NRL. He's been... You
lose two things if you don't have him, don't
yes.
you? You lose a face and you lose a superstar.
There's part of that, absolutely. And he's transcended the game down here. We talk a little bit about the Swan Street test. If you could walk up Swan Street, would you get noticed? And he is absolutely one of the players on our team that if he walked up Swan Street, he would get asked for the selfie and asked for the autograph. He's brilliant at engaging with fans on his own social media channels. He's been a wonderful person to have around the footy club. And clearly, when he's up and running, he's one of the best players in the competition. He's been so unlucky when he's got injured at certain points in certain seasons over the last 5 years So
I'll refine. If he's an NRL player, is he still a Storm player? I think the question is if there are other parts of the sporting world that are attractive to him, i.e. rugby union in one shape or form, whether it be the R360 or a Rugby Australia carrot, i.e. Suaalii type of style. So I think the question is, if he's an NRL player, is he a Storm player?
I think so. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. But, he's one of those guys that's always going to be exploring options, and I actually applaud him for that. I think he's got a real strategic commercial mind, as well as a football brain that is one of the best in our team. I think you would agree with that, Hoffy.
Definitely.
Like, he really understands the game. When we've had a loss, he's one of those players in the sheds that talks up and speaks about, why we lost and what we've got to do to get better. So I would like to think that he'll be a Melbourne Storm player if he's playing in the NRL. But there's some water to go under the bridge there.
It's a puzzle, isn't it? Because everyone wants to keep their spine, but it's getting that puzzle together to be able to maintain it.
And Perth is pushing up the value of any player that's off contract.
Well, you've got two teams coming in, Papua New Guinea in 28 and Perth in 27. Now
they all want to face.
Yeah, they're all going to need 3 or 4 marquee players that are going to get paid over the odds. But also remembering too, you've got to find 72 players for 2 teams over 2 years with $13 to $14 million of salary cap ready to go and just spend. So they are going to come for every club, and we're not going to be
great. I was about to say it's a great time to be a player.
Well, if their fingerprints are just growing back from being burned by the Dolphins. With the Bromwich brothers, among others.
Well, that's right. If you think about Felice Kafusi, the Bromwich brothers, was there one other we lost through that period? But there's 3 great players, stalwarts of our club, a lot of experience, and interestingly, it was perhaps a good thing for both them and for us at the time, but not all 3 at once. We would have preferred to stagger that over a period of time. So we didn't get that luxury because the Dolphins came in, and that's part of an expanded competition.
You've been generous with your time, Justin. Good luck tonight, and thank you for coming in to join us.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, guys. Have a good call.
Justin Rodsky, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Melbourne Storm. Plenty of meat around a club that has defied so much rugby league logic to be so successful. And Hoffy, because you've been a part of this anomaly, this unbelievable anomaly. I mean, I remember the first time I ever went to an NRL grand final was the 1999 grand final and saw the drama of Chris Anderson's second-year team and the controversial penalty try, when there weren't too many penalty tries those days. But the second year in, they won it, and Glenn Lazarus doing cartwheels at Stadium Australia. And, of course, you were at the club when they went to the depths of the salary cap scandal, but really outside of that, they just turn up and they just make themselves relevant every season.
Well, the club started with success. It started with success in their second year, the first year making the finals, and it's just carried on. And even when the club was at its lowest and on its knees, the next year it got itself back to the top, to the minor premiers, and the year after that to be premiers. I mean, and a lot of it has got to do with Craig Bellamy, and I think one of Craig Bellamy's greatest legacies he is going to leave on this game and leave on this club is that I don't see the club going backwards. I think there's too many things that are put in place. There's too many systems. The Storm way has become so synonymous with this club that whoever holds the clipboard or the whistle, whatever you want to call it, he has a great platform in place.
Both teams are downstairs warming up. If you are just joining us again, repeating, Lasati to the bench, Bloor to start for Melbourne. That's the only change. Joe Chance, the replacement player. Sharks of 1 to 17, Dan Atkinson, the replacement player. So with both teams milling around there, so too the footy departments. Let's get back down to Ian Cohen, because he's got the assistant coach of the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks, Josh Hannay, with him.
Josh, thanks for joining us. Crowd starting to build up, obviously, but you come here with absolutely no fear. You're the form team. What's the expectation coming in tonight?
Yeah, listen, we are under no illusions as to the challenge tonight. We've met 2 significant challenges in the last 2 weeks, and this is another level again. So we need to, at a bare minimum, maintain what we've been able to do the last 2 weeks. I think we've built our game on defence and last play pressure, and then controlling the football when we get the opportunity with the ball. So we need to maintain that against a really good side here tonight.
Nicho Hines, a cult hero obviously in Melbourne for many years, has grown and blossomed obviously at the Sharks, and we know his exploits have just been amazing. What sort of intel has he been able to deliver for you and your team?
Yeah, honestly, not a lot. Like, I know it's a cliched saying, but we're very much about us. He hasn't sort of delved into his time here at all. But, I think in the back of his mind, he obviously has spent a fair bit of time here playing with a number of these guys, and he would understand some of their tendencies. So I think in the back of his mind, he would have that up his sleeve. But in terms of sharing any of that intel with us, there's been none of that, mate.
We'll go upstairs, a man you know well, Ryan Hoffman, and with him, Quinton Hull. Q.
Yeah, g'day, Josh.
Evening, guys.
It's great to have a quick chat to you. Just a general energy check, mood check. How's the feeling on the bus coming to the ground?
Yeah, very relaxed, and I think that's one of the things I've noticed with the guys over the last couple of weeks. The relaxed atmosphere, the nature of them on game days has been something different. It's been a shift from what I'm used to, certainly over the last 3 years when we've been involved in finals. Perhaps we've been a little bit tense in years gone by, but that's certainly not the case at the moment. And I think you look at the way we're playing with it, we're certainly playing with a spirit and a freedom that points to a relaxed football team.
What did you learn from the 2 games that you've played this year? You got one over them at Shark Park, but then got beaten down here. So was there anything that you went to work on the tape there that we're going to see tonight?
You sort of look back and you get a little bit out of that, but to be honest, there's been a lot of water going under the bridge since the last time we met Melbourne down here. They were way too good for us on that night. That was a little bit of a turning point for us that night in our season. We walked away from that and we needed to change some things and we needed to shift some things, and we've been able to do that. But we come here tonight. It's a preliminary final. We know it's at stake, so it's all about tonight, not necessarily what's happened in the past.
Josh Hannay, assistant coach with the Sharks, is with us.
Yeah, Josh Hoffy, mate. I want to point out your hooker and captain, Blake Brayley. I mean, you've spent a bit of time with Cameron Smith in Origin. I don't think there's a player that reminds me so much of Cameron Smith like Blake. Have you been really impressed with his composure being captain in this final series?
Yeah, I have, and it's a decent comparison, Hoffy. I know comparing anyone to the GOAT's a big comparison, but what I see from Braille's day in, day out is what everyone's seeing on the field at the moment, the composure. At training, we can be doing the most intense session during a pre-season and he doesn't break a sweat. And I think that was one of the things with Smithy, and you played a lot of football with Smithy. He never seemed to be under any duress. He always seemed to be clear, calm and collected with his decision-making, and that's certainly an endearing quality of Braille's.
What's the matchup you're looking forward to most tonight? Obviously, everyone's talking about Aden Fanua-Blake and Stefano Utoikamano. Is that the challenge? Because I feel adding AFB might be the missing link that you guys might have been missing last year.
Yeah, he's certainly been an energy shifter for us, having Aden in the side. There's no doubt about that. And I think the pack that can get on top tonight, because you look at both nines, right, and Harry and our guy and Braille's, the pack that can gain that little bit of ascendancy to give the dummy half a little bit of front foot football and some quick play the balls and ruck speed. Each team has got the 9 to exploit that and capitalise on that. So I think the ascendancy gained by the forward packs tonight is going to be critical.
Do you feel like you're in the right space above the shoulders, Josh, for tonight? This is a group that's got a fair bit of finals experience now, and I think it's going to be important tonight because we know that Melbourne just do this regularly, so we know that they're not going to be overawed.
No, you're certainly right about our opponent. They're the best at it. They've been here year in, year out for 20-odd years now. So for us, we would like to think we've taken a little bit from our experiences over the last 4 years. We've learned some hard lessons, and as I said earlier, we come here tonight, I think there's a freshness and a relaxed nature about the group that I think we're happy to be here. We're not nervous and fearful about being here on this stage. We're happy to be here. And
to finish up with Josh, can you just tell us, did it enter your mind 2 weeks ago, last week, this week, you get on the bus, you put on the Shark shirt and you think, how many more times am I going to get to do this? It's at least the second last. We hope it's the second last from your perspective, but you've had the last couple of weeks not knowing whether or not you get to be around this group again for of course, greener pastures and the Titans are waiting.
Yeah, I must admit, every time I get on the bus to the game, I sort of sit there and I think, is this the last bus ride to a game? So, and that crept into my mind tonight. It's been an absolute privilege to work with this group and work for this club, and I've loved every minute of it. It's been enormous for my journey and my growth as a person and as a coach. And yeah, I'm aware that tonight could be the last night. Obviously, hope it's not. I hope we've got one more up our sleeve, and But, you know, when I finally say goodbye to the club, it'll certainly be a sad day.
Well, here's to one more bus ride next Sunday from the Shire to Homebush. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, good on you, Josh. And, well, probably Saturday when would they stay up around Homebush, Ryan Hoffman? Decent bus ride from the Shire out to Homebush. And any journey's a decent bus ride in Sydney, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly is. But I never played in Sydney, so I don't know. I don't know how the teams do it, to be quite honest, because it was always us for staying in hotels close to the stadium. So,
and were you in the Coogee era for Origin being based out in the eastern suburbs?
Yeah, but we'd always change. Closer.
So when you played Origin for New South Wales,
yeah, we'd move to the hotel right next to Stadium Australia.
Yeah, because no one wants to be, you know,
you don't want to be stuck in traffic. Trust me.
Exactly.
Would you believe for an Origin we ran late? An Origin in Melbourne, coming down St Kilda Road, traffic was that bad. We were starting to get strapped on the bus, and that was just going from St Kilda Road. So, I imagine you want to be staying pretty close to where the stadium is out there at Homebush.
Quentin Hull, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen with you for Finals Footy on ABC Sport. Melbourne and Cronulla not too far away if you are just tuning in. The conditions are good, even though there's been a little bit of patchy rain about the place. And just a reminder of the huge weekend of sport that we have for you across the national broadcaster, not only tonight here and, of course, the Broncos-Panthers game on Sunday afternoon. We'll also bring you live coverage of both NRL W preliminary finals as well. Tomorrow night in Gosford, the Roosters taking on Cronulla. That's a 7:45 kickoff. And as a part of our Sunday pre-game, well, the pre-game won't be as long on Sunday because we'll get into the first of the doubleheader games at Lang Park with the Broncos NRLW team hosting the Newcastle Knights. So all four NRL and NRLW preliminary finals are here on ABC Sport, as is the case across the footbridge tomorrow from noon. The build-up, a bit of Snoop and then some football as well. Brisbane and Geelong playing in the AFL Grand Final. That's live across the country. And if that's not enough for you tomorrow as well, it's the first of the Bledisloe Cup test matches with Australia across the ditch taking on the All Blacks. 3 o'clock Eastern Time kickoff. That call available on the ABC Listen app. We're on the brink of bringing you the Women's World Cup from India as well, with Elisa Healy's Australians looking to once again show their class on the world stage. So it's an absolutely huge time on ABC Sport outside of the footy finals, which are a regular fixture at this time of year. Hoffy, a chance for us to really get into the footy now. And you know, you mentioned at the top the Sharks and their battle for respect. And here are the numbers. You know, since they lost to Melbourne in round 17, they've won 9 of their last 10. And that only loss was against St George Illawarra. So what have you seen about the way that they've been playing their football that has got them on such a consistent run and one win away from another grand final?
There's been an attitude adjustment. There's been an attitude adjustment from Craig Fitzgibbon and the Shark leaders about how they want to play their game. I think sometimes they were going into games waiting to see how the opposition was going to go into it. Wanting to see what they're going to be up against rather than taking the game themselves. And look, they obviously had a big chat to themselves midway through the year, and they said, "Well, hang on, how do we want to be viewed by other people?" And they obviously came up with what they wanted, and they said, well, now we've got to go out there and show it. And that's what they're doing. They're taking themselves to the game. They're not waiting for the game to come to them. And look, that theory's worked on terrific for the past 10 weeks, but it is a great mentality to have to come down to Melbourne and play the Melbourne Storm. That's what they had last week going to Canberra. Very, very tough road trip. One of the toughest road trips, I think, in the NRL, heading down to the nation's capital. This is probably the toughest one. And that mentality is putting them on the right path.
And there continues to be so much talk about Nico Hines. And even there was an article in the Nine newspapers about the Mr. Nice guy who sort of retreated from that. He was very a friendly media type of guy when he left the Storm and then went to Cronulla and wins the Dally M. And he's living up to his billing as the $1 million playmaker with the rough upbringing and what a story and so forth. But then the last couple of years, a couple of big games, a few State of Origin humblings as well. He seems like, and certainly his football has got to a point where it's like this young man's evolved. He's evolving, and as you do in sport, it's a very public evolution. What are you seeing, in Nico's footy, which makes you think that, even the conversation of 12 months ago, of this guy that goes missing in the big games, that is now... He's on a path to try and really prove everyone wrong in that regard.
Well, what he's done is he's put pressure on himself. He's put pressure on, but I think it's by design. A lot's been said about not standing up in the big games or not standing up when Cronulla sort of needs him to. So what he's done, he's gone out and he's made these statements about the club and about himself, about him as a player and how he wants to be viewed. So he's put pressure on himself, which I think is a good thing for him, because he obviously wants to play up to that pressure. He wants to have that pressure on himself. From external and from within, and it's working for him, because he is, like Cronulla as a team, taking himself to the game, not waiting for the game to come to him.
Luca on the text says, hey Q man, RH and IC, can I say something controversial? I'm a bit sick of all the name abbreviations, DCE, AFB, DWZ. We've only got one of those tonight. We've only got an AFB because we don't have NAS tonight. No Nelson Asifa Solomon. Thanks, Luca. 0467920222. And Ian from Newcastle on the text raised a good point about our chat with Justin Rodsky. He says the fact that Melbourne lobbied the NRL to get their game played tonight shows how corrupt the NRL is. I guess being a 4-time premier without cheating doesn't mean much. Well, that's a little bit of a sting in the tail there.
There's nothing wrong with lobbying. The NRL don't have to do it. They don't have to listen to you.
And I thought it was articulately put, though, the way that there is... And I applaud the NRL with the way that it is trying to do its bit to ensure that, you look at the consistency of what the Melbourne Storm has done over its existence. I dread for the day that they have a couple of soft seasons, Hoffy, because we still wonder... you look across the road tomorrow, 100,000, even the parade today. AFL is just a huge, gigantic beast in this town. Yet the sporting-loving people of this town take it for granted that, it gets to September, and when there's no AFL finals on, they can cheer for their Storm.
Well, they don't have to choose a rugby league team. Their team's already here for them, and if their team's not in the grand final, and there's no Melbourne teams in the grand final this year, you've got someone to cheer for, and that's what Melbourne's really lent on. But look, the whole thing of a Sunday, the NRL made the decision. They loved the Sunday game. The NRL made the decision to make it a 7-day tournament.
Yeah, we could have been playing at Lang Park tomorrow night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they chose not to. I even remember playing a prelim at Etihad on grand final night in 2009. At Docklands in 2009, we played a prelim the same night as the AFL grand final.
And beat Brisbane by 40 points to 10. That was one of 2 preliminary finals that were played at Docklands. And that, and the amazing consistency. So in preliminary finals here, we're now up to the 8th at this very venue, having had 5 wins for Melbourne and 2 wins for the visiting team. So on a couple of occasions at this venue, North Queensland en route to win the 2015 Premiership, they came here and beat Melbourne, and the only other time
Warriors 2011?
Yeah, Warriors 2011. So it's been a long time since Melbourne's lost a preliminary final that it's hosted. And I say that in inverted commas because they did host 2 games in Brisbane in 2020 and 2021. They won against Canberra in 2020 and then won the Premiership, and then 21 lost to Penrith at Lang Park before, of course, the grand final of that year was played at Lang Park as well. So it's not just making the preliminary final, but so they hosted last year, beat the Roosters, hosted in 21, hosted in 20, hosted in 18, 17, 16, 15, 12, 11... Extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly good knowing you don't have to do too much travel during September as a Melbourne Storm player.
Storm's form, and it seems to be such an open question, Hoffy, but you're one of the most regular watchers of this team. You know it inside out, and you're such an honest rugby league analyst. How are they going?
They haven't played to their potential once this year, I don't think. But take away the first half of the round 1. I don't think we've seen the real Melbourne Storm. Let's not forget too, their Spiners only played 7 games together this year, 7 or 8. I can't remember, but they've won. I think it's 7 out of those 8 games that they've played together.
So speaking of Pappenhausen, Munster, Hughes, Grant.
Yeah, they've only played together. I think it is 8 times, and they've won 7 of them. So it's what I don't know. We're probably up to like the 27th game right now with buys and everything like that.
26th for Melbourne, 27th for the Sharks.
So there you go. So they haven't played a lot together, which I think has contributed to the fact that Melbourne haven't played to their potential. They're going to have to. There's no better time now than to play to your potential against a Shark team who is the form team in the comp.
This time last year, I think the question was, in obviously the wake of the Bromwich brothers leaving, Christian Welch getting to the back end of his career, it was a matter of, okay, well, is the middle of the ground, the battle up front, an area where Melbourne struggles? And part of it on grand final night was exposed by the fact that Nelson Asafa Solomona was suspended and didn't play against Penrith. Well, of course, Nelson's suspended again, but Stefano Udawikamanu is around now, and that wasn't the case 12 months ago.
He I think has been. We've spoken about the missing link. I spoke about earlier, Josh Hannay, about the missing link for the Sharks in Adam Fanua-Blake. Stefano Udawikamanu is the missing link for the Melbourne Storm, I tell you, because he is that fella that knocks the door down, plays great minutes, defends really well, fills the space. A lot of things due to Nelson's size, he hasn't been able to. He can't do as well as Stefano, but he's been a very shrewd buy for the Melbourne Storm, and I think is their missing link to going through this year.
Quentin Hull and Ryan Hoffman up in the box, Friday night footy, which is now finals footy on ABC Sport, and Ian Cohen down on the touchline. The players have left, and the traditional Melbourne Storm AFL-style crepe paper banner is about to be raised, and there's not too many spare seats out there, Koza.
No, there's certainly not, Q. It's a great atmosphere. We've got the flamethrowers all the way around the rectangle. We've had the fireworks as well. You can still smell the fireworks in the air. The night sky looks brilliant. The rain has come and gone, so all is in readiness for what will be a huge, huge encounter. They will run through the banner. Storm will start to the right-hand end of your ABC Sport app. And have a think about this. When Jerome Hughes plays, Storm score 30-plus points. When he doesn't play, the average is 19 points. I'm expecting a high-scoring encounter, and I reckon it might be Storm by 4.
And as good as he is, I'm expecting, albeit high-class rust, a little bit of rust. There's got to be some rust there. He's played 25 minutes of top-flight footy in 2 months off the back of the dislocated shoulder and then having a run before the finals. And obviously, Craig Bellamy wanted him to have a run before the finals. Otherwise, he would have been rested from that round 27 game, the one which he broke his arm 25 minutes into.
I'm not worried about Jerome Hughes. Honestly not. I think I don't know whether it's because he's a Kiwi and that's how they are, but I don't think that really will faze him. My concern is Ryan Pappenhausen, because he sometimes coming back from injury can be a bit rusty in the games or two. So my concerns about Paps, and hopefully not for the Storm's sake. But I'm not worried about Jerome Hughes. I think it's the relaxed Māori in him that he can just get himself through.
Yeah, and Pappenhausen, who interestingly has missed a lot of footy with either structural or muscular issues with his legs. This is off the back of an HIA, which he picked up at the back end of the season. So it's going to be interesting, his first kick return. His first kick return, the attitude that he takes. If he's aggressive at the ball and running it back hard, that's when we know Paps is on that night. But I tell you what was interesting, Sharks winning the toss and choosing to kick off. They want to get the first whack in. They want to set the tone. As I've been saying, they want to take themselves to the game. We've spoken about all these stuff, but I reckon a really interesting question around how the game changes when the benches come in. Because you look at the one thing that Storm have that the Sharks don't when it comes to the bench, they've got the Swiss Army knife. They've got Tyron Wishart. The Sharks are big. Nika Ratalafakai, Kafusi, Hamlin, Uele. Sure, Sifa can play on the edges and so forth as former representative centre, but none of them have the out-and-out playmaker like Tyron Wishart.
No.
Except for Tyron Wishart.
The Sharks definitely have a much bigger bench and much stronger, and they're just going to keep bashing the door down to the middle. Melbourne, I think their bench is a bit more mobile. They've got the leg speed of the man affectionately known as Chin, Alec McDonald, and obviously Tyron Wishart and Lasati, fast leg speed guys. So I think the benches actually match each other quite well. And I can't wait, Q. Let's go.
Well, on the big screen we can see Blake Rayleigh about to lead his Sharks into action. Cronulla Sullivan, the team from the Shire that won their only ever premiership against the Storm. The porch lights were turned out all the way back in 2016. They haven't been to a grand final since. Here come the Sharks. Beaten by the Panthers in a preliminary final last year. So it's Will Kennedy at fullback, Sione Katoa and Ronaldo Mulatalo on the wings. Jesse Ramian and Kaeliro in the centres. Nico Hines and Braden Trindle in the halves. Adam Fanua-Blake and Toby Rudolph up front. Blake Brayley, the captain and hooker. Billy Burns and Teague Wilton, the second rowers. Jesse Colhoun, the lock forward. The benches, Britton, Nika Rasiasi, Patalakai, Oregon, Kafusi and Braden Hamlin-Ueli. And now the storm warning has been sounded. This is a part of Melbourne Rugby League. The fans in purple. AC/DC's classic riff. All 80 minutes. Harry Grant's images on the big screen. This is just another night at the office for the purple. Another preliminary final in Melbourne. The captain leads them out, Harry Grant. It's Ryan Pappenhausen at fullback, Will Warbrick and Xavier Coates on the wings, Jack Howarth and Nick Meaney in the centres. Munster and Jerome Hughes in the halves, Udo Ikamanu and Josh King up front. Grant the hooker and captain. Eliasa Katoa joined in the second row by Sean Bloor in the starting team. Trent Liero the lock forward, and the benches Adavalu Masadi, Tyron Wishart, Tui Kamakamita and Alec McDonald. Ashley Klein is the referee. Chris Butler is in the bunker. Hoffy, a tip before we get going in this first preliminary final.
Oh, she's going to be a close one. I just think this is just going to be a bashathon. It's going to be nice and close. 4 points to the Storm, I reckon.
And Ian, you've already had your tip, so you're with the Storm?
Yes, Hoffy and I are in unison. 4 points to the Storm, but a high-scoring encounter. This will be a cracker.
Make sure to keep your messages flowing throughout the game. 0467 920 222. Ash Klein sets us underway. And Brayley kicks off for the Sharks. Melbourne to have first possession. Hughes catches the ball. He's got that left arm heavily strapped. He offloads to Udo Ikamanu, who's taken 10 from the southern end goal. So the Storm running to the northern end to the left of your radio dial as King rolls down the middle third and is stopped just short of the 20. But the Storm in their traditional home purple and deep blue tonight. Out to the left edge there where Katoa is pushed back up. In fact, that's Bloor pushed back a metre or two on that left edge. Now the arrow down the middle third, taken 15 from halfway. Plays the ball to Grant, passes to right and centre field for Udo Ikamanu into a three-man tackling brigade, and the Storm get almost to halfway with one left in this opening set. Hughes puts the kick downfield. It's high towards the right corner, looked at and caught comfortably by Sione Katoa of the Sharks, and he's tackled inside the 20. So Cronulla to start this set, their first of the game at that red stripe down at the northern end. No great gain on the run from Mulatalo, from Ramian, should I say, into the defence. Now out towards the left edge. And, well, Meaney's given away a penalty on Mulatalo. An extra grapple in the tackle there, and Ronaldo Mulatalo was at the sort of the pointy end of some real fractious incidents, particularly with Ryan Pappenhausen earlier this year. He's earned the first penalty for the Sharks.
Yeah, they did that. The Sharks was a bit of they were struggling to get out of their own 30 coming into tackle 4. Interesting to note, Jerome Hughes defended that whole set on the wing, so keeping himself on the edge.
And a pretty good touch finder as well. First carry of the new set, and the Sharks find themselves 43 metres from the Storm line as Wilton plays the ball to Brayley, to the right for Trindle, given on to Fanua-Blake, and the big name off-season recruit from the Warriors is 40 out from the Storm line. Ball played to Brayley, given on to Colhoun, Jesse Colhoun taken 30 metres from the Storm line. Sharks with the first real attacking opportunity in this preliminary final. To centre field for Hines, pops it up for Rudolph. brought down centre park, 22 metres from the Storm line. Options either side for Brayley. Goes left for Trindle, pops it up onto Wilton, who does run into Hughes. He's going backwards, needs some help and does get it from Anderson and Grant. Only 5 metres from the Storm line. Last play to the Sharks. Oh, the pass is at the feet of Cronulla Blake. That was a loose one from Brayley, and it's jumped on by the Storm, and Liero cleans up. And we're through the first couple of sets. No score early on in Melbourne.
Yeah, poor pass there from Brayley. He was sort of in between two minds, I think, on who to pass to. The Cronulla Sharks asked the first question of Jerome Hughes, getting Billy Burns going straight at him. Hughes stood up to the test.
Grant passes infield to Pappenhausen. He's got the bright tangerine-coloured boots just beyond the 20 as Paps plays it there to Grant. Given on to Uduika Manu. Wilton came out of the line to hit him hard along with Burns. And also Brayley, ball played on the Melbourne 30. Munster receives, uses his left boot to kick Melbourne downfield, and it's caught pretty comfortably by Katoa, who runs up towards the 30. Nice tackle around the ankles from Eli Katoa. Sione and Eli Katoa, no relation, and they tangle there on the 30. Left side for the Sharks. No score early on here in Melbourne. Mulatalo with the run, and now Ero runs into Meany, and KL Ero's tackled. Cronulla 7 inside their own half on the left edge. Pass back to right and centre field. Hines pops it up for the run of Ramian. Ramian's met there by King. He's got Blore and others around to help out. Played to Brayley, give it to Kennedy. The Sharks fullback gets into attacking territory by 5 metres as he's tackled. Last play coming up for Cronulla. Trindle from 40 metres out, puts up a bomb to the defensive right corner. Warbrick leaps and catches and gets taken down 5 from his own line. In Cole, we've had some hold on, penalty goes to Melbourne here. Cronulla offside, a bit of changeable weather throughout the day. How is it early phases down on the touchline?
No, I think it should be good for the rest of the night as well, and that moisture is certainly dried off at this stage, so conditions are outstanding. We talk about Hughes being out on that right wing. Melbourne Storm fans would remember Cooper Cronk. They couldn't find him in that grand final against the Roosters. He was playing with a damaged shoulder, but he steered the ship home to win the comp.
And just like Melbourne Inga, just like Shane Webke, it's a mini mattress on the left forearm. Yes. That damaged wing of Jerome Hughes. There are a couple of the more sort of famous instances of players going out there with a broken arm. Utu Ikamano's got it. Not a great kick downfield though, Hoffy. Storm are still 15 inside their own half. Liero down the middle third. What a breakout year for him. All 3 Origin games in the successful Queensland State of Origin campaign. Plays it 5 from halfway. A couple of passes to the right. It's on the deck, picked up by Pappenhausen. Messy, but retrieved, and he's tackled. Out on the right. Last play. No, just a couple plays left. I shifted to the left edge there for Blore. That was the second to last. Here's the last. Played on halfway. Left side shift. Grant for the Munster. Pass to the wing. Kicked infield by Coates. Trindle's first back there though for the Sharks. He's in the in-goal area though. And taken in the in-goal by the chase of Munster. So from nothing, the Storm have earned a goal line dropout.
Yeah, a couple of good early touches by Sean Blore. He had a good run up on the first set, and then that got a quick play the ball. That set just said Munster, cracker of a pass to Xavier Coates. He wheeled it through the middle, and Melbourne Storm managed to get a repeat set.
It was a handy kick too. Ian Cohen on the touchline. Yeah,
he just keeps adding strings to his bow, doesn't he, Xavier Coates? That was a very, very good kick and came within a yard of being a score, but Xavier Coates, amazing.
G'day to Trish, who texts, g'day all, long-time listener, first-time texter, from a safari of the Masai Mara in Kenya. Go the Broncos on Sunday, says Trish. Oh. Nice to hear from you. 0467 920 222. Meanwhile, Uduika Manu into contact. Off the restart, Melbourne 20 out. Played to Grant. Given on to Pappenhausen. Tackled it. Flips the ball out the back to King. He's flat-footed. Kennedy makes the tackle. Melbourne centre field and 20 out. No score early on in the preliminary final. Grant pops up the pass to Munster. Tries to step up his right but slips and is smashed into the turf by a front-on tackle by Kennedy. Plays the ball to Grant. Passes right through Liero. Onto Hughes. Gives it on to Meany. Meany with the fend on Hero. And the pass to Warbrick in the corner. Warbrick flies, dives in and scores. Oh, the skill of Nick Meany to put on the stutter step and then open up that right arm offload with the left-handed fend. Will Warbrick and the Storm the beneficiary? Melbourne 4, Cronulla Sutherland yet to score, kick to come.
Yeah, sharp football by the Melbourne Storm. Started off with a massive carry by Utu Kumana, just ran straight over the top of Billy Burns. It was great work on the right edge for the Storm. Jerome Hughes going hard into the line, and he got absolutely levelled, but that created that extra man. Nick Meaney gets outside of Kailiro, brings in Muatalo, and Will Warbrick, he just knows how to score tries for fun, this bloke.
Warbrick over in the corner. It's been a tough year for him. Only his 6th game. He's missed a lot of the season due to lingering concussion symptoms. And now 4 tries in the campaign. Koza, boy, what a figure he is on that right wing for the Storm.
And so good to see him back playing great football as well. I mean, when we spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, he really questioned, how the body was, how the mind was. He's worked with a raft of people to get both of those things right. So it's enormous to see him back. It's just game number 6 for him this year, but so good to see him back playing great football.
Just a talented sportsman, full stop, Will Warbrick.
Sorry, Q. I just noticed that last set, a Storm attacker set. Normally you see Ryan Pappenhausen get to the edges, but he was in around the play the ball the whole time there. They're obviously seeing something in around Harry Grant.
And Nick Meaney has the kicking duties for this attempt. Right out on the right touchline, 25 metres out. He's missed it. No goal. So the score remains Storm 4, Sharks 0. Finals footy on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull, Ryan Hoffman and Ian Cohen. And you can get in touch on 0467 920 222. I mean, it goes down in the book as Warbrick, but gee, I'm just super impressed. Nick Meaney, he has done a job wherever he has played. He's had to play a lot of fullback as well this year.
But he's a footballer, so you could put him in any position and he will play it. Like he was brilliant deputising for Ryan Pappenhausen last year and a lot of times this year in at fullback. He's just an out-and-out footballer, this guy.
For those that aren't aware, think of the big game across the footbridge tomorrow. Will Warbrick was a Kiwi junior representative Australian footballer before he went on to be a Rugby Sevens silver medalist for New Zealand in the Tokyo Games of 20, which were played, of course, in 21. Udo Ikamanu off the restart. Melbourne with the ball, 15 from the goal line at the southern end. 4-0 to the locals. Up to the 20-metre line. Go Melbourne. On the run there of Katoa. Now to Liero down the middle third. He's picked up by Burns along with others. Sharks defence holding on there. Melbourne midway goal line and halfway as the ball's played. Grant pops it up to King. And Josh King is taken down. He's about 15 inside his own half. Left it goes for Munster. Pops it up for, again, Meaney, should I say, Howarth chiming in on that left edge. He was coming in field, got tackled. End of the set. They get to halfway. Hughes with a high kick downfield. Kennedy catches comfortably. The Sharks fullback takes it 15 from his own line. And kick return. Well, went beyond the 20 before he's driven back 10 metres. And he'll play it a dozen from his own line. Great defence from Melbourne, but they weren't onside. Next play. Penalty goes to the Sharks.
Yeah, that's the second penalty Ash Klein has given for teams leaving early on a kick chase. He penalised Cronulla before, and then Melbourne Storm got themselves down there to create another set of 6. So danger for the Melbourne Storm. Just keep inviting Cronulla back in their own half.
And that's a good kick for touch as well. Flag raised 45 metres from the Storm line on this western side. Sold out, and it's a bit blustery this afternoon, a few scuddy showers going through, but that's all settled down. It's been a lovely warm Friday in Melbourne, public holiday Friday, and gorgeous conditions for this preliminary final. Sharks with the football at the attacking end. Play 2, 35 metres from Melbourne's line on the run of Colquhoun. He'll get to his feet and play the ball. Bradley one-handed pick-up, gives to the left for Hines. Nico has a run at the line but gets taken down 30 metres from Melbourne's line. Hines plays it. Bradley passes left, Trindle, dummies, feeds it to the inside line there of Wilton. Nice contact from King and Udo Ikamanu to bring him down. Sharks, they get a ping, wavy fisty. That's a bonus. It was getting late in the set. Right side shift. Kennedy's got the ball. He's taken down by Bloor. Hines is down in back play though, and there's a penalty going to Cronulla. I missed that, Hoppy.
Yeah, it was Trent Liero came out and put a shot at Nico Hines. I don't think there's too much in it. I just think he wanted Nico to know that he's there. It was, he's still down. He might just got the wind knocked out of him.
Down to Ian Cohen on the touchline.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Hoffy. I don't know whether there was too much in that, but Nicho Hynes, who was super aggressive early, he was running out of the line defensively. He really wanted to put his stamp on the game early, and I think he just copped a shot there, but he seems to be up and going now. On his haunches, just taking in some H2O, and it looks like he's ready to go again.
And you've got a story, Hoffy, about how he didn't get on the field in that grand final in 2020 when they beat Penrith.
Yeah, I was on the sidelines for the Storm at the time, on the mic to the coach's box, and he had the card in his hand ready to go on the field, and then Jerome Hughes, his opposite number 7, got put in the sin bin, which threw the interchanges all to hell. So unfortunately didn't get on, Nicho.
That was when Hynes was a part of that squad and still got the premiership ring, but didn't get on field when Melbourne beat the Panthers. And they take the tap here.
Gives 2 points.
The Sharks, yeah, and there was a stat about not taking 2 points early in these big games. Anyway, Cronulla decided to go on the attack. Rudolph with a settler. Calhoun does as well. 2 plays taken up, and Cronulla only 8 metres from the Melbourne line. Brayley to the left. Hynes gives the pass on to Fanua Blake. Great contact there from Katoa. Knocks him down 5 metres out. Played to Brayley. Calhoun on the crash ball line. Under the black dot. He's stopped by 3 Melbourne defenders. Right on the goal line at the southern end. Calhoun plays it. Brayley's hand got knocked as he passed it right. Play on. Hynes gives to Kennedy. Kennedy's pass puts Sione Katoa over in the right corner. 2 tries in the game. 2 to the number 2 right wingers. Warbrick's try answered by Sione Katoa. And the Sharks hit back, and there is just a bit of feeling in this, Hoppy. Again, these two teams had a few flare-ups earlier in the season, holding each other at arm's length.
Yeah, it's all push and shot, not a lot. I want to see this put down because Katoa got very, very close to the dead ball line, just on the put down. He got himself super close. He didn't need to be that close, but I want to see this checked.
Yeah, flirting with that touch line. So Chris Butler's in the bunker. He'll be the one having a look at it.
Oh, try confirm. There you go. Once again, I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it's all good.
It was close, though. It was close.
4-all with the kick to come. Ian Cohen on the touchline.
Yeah, Xavier Coates just got sucked inboard there, and it left a wide, yawning gap right at that line. And obviously, they were good enough to be able to go over Katoa. So well done to him. But yeah, Xavier Coates headed in. It was actually just an interesting piece of discussion with Nicho Hynes telling Jack Howarth that maybe he'd butchered the opportunity and was left stranded. So that was what that robust discussion was about.
It was that weird scenario at the end of the round 11 game, which was, there was only 5 points in that at the end, but Ryan Pappenhausen gave away a late high shot on Mulatalo. There was also Melbourne had one last play as well among a sort of weird ending to that game.
Yeah, look, it's all rubbish because it's all push and shove. Yeah. It really doesn't matter. No one's going to do anything anymore, so it's all just bluster.
Hynes from the western touchline. 97 goals from 120 attempts this year for Nicho Hynes. Right foot strike is curling across the face and no goal. So the score remains Melbourne 4, Cronulla Sutherland 4. 13 minutes into this preliminary final, which you're hearing on Finals Footy on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull. Ian Cohen on the touchline and this man Ryan Hoffman.
Much better finish. The last time they had an attacking centre inside the Melbourne Storm's 20, it finished off with a very poor pass by Brayley. They were a bit more organised there, Cronulla, and they looked quite sharp. Melbourne Storm just invited them in. There was a couple of penalties on the back of a couple of penalties, just invited Cronulla in, and come prelim finals, you cannot just keep giving teams opportunity inside your own red zone.
Meaney with the restart. Very deep, within about a metre of the dead ball line. Trindle catches it, and Rudolph enthusiastically runs into the tackle of King, who puts him down. Sharks 10 metres in the field of play at that Slater stand down, and Rudolph just takes a knee. That was a big hit from King. So he's up now, Toby, but feeling the effects of that first hit up. Now for Fanua Blake, play 3 up to the 20. Plays the ball to Brayley. You just see that he is in the hands of the trainers there, Rudolph. Koza will keep an eye on it. Left edge exploration. Calhoun to the 30. Plays it to Brayley. Passes infield for Trindle. And the Sharks 5-8 on a little dummying run. Tackled 15 inside his own half. Played to Brayley. Give it to Hynes at the end of the set from his own 30. Kicks downfield. Caught opposite 30 by Coates on the defensive left side. And Xavier Coates with the kick return. A dozen from halfway. And just a little bit of extra from Ramian in the tackle gives Melbourne a cheap trip downfield, down to Ian Cohen on the touchline. Just saw the trainer was lingering a bit there, having a look at Toby Rudolph.
Yeah, the trainer gave the thumbs up, but then I watched him run the 10 or 15 into the line, and I'm not convinced. He also seems to be carrying a little bit that right arm, that right shoulder, which he's got strapped at the moment.
So Storm fine touch, and we'll start the new set 40 metres from Cronulla's line. 15 minutes played in the preliminary final. It's a try apiece. Melbourne 4, Cronulla Sutherland 4. Howarth taken on the 30. Now a couple of passes to centre field. Utuikamanu like a Dodgem car bouncing off tacklers. Got an offload to Hughes. Hughes makes a line break. Hughes to the 10. Beats the fullback. And Jerome Hughes, busted arm and all, makes a huge play to score the Storm second try. Oh, it was just a little scoot. And he got through one. And he kept going, Jerome Hughes. And Melbourne returned to the lead, 8 points to 4, kick to come.
Didn't I tell you, Q, you don't need to worry about a bloke like Jerome Hughes. Throw him back in there. That came off the back of Utuikamanu. He has been knocking players over like he's a 10-pin bowler. He's unbelievable. He beats the first tackle every time, bumped a couple off, gets the offload. Jerome Hughes, nice and strong, fended off with that left arm, all taped up, and gets the ball over the line.
I think he got through Hines, the first man, and then rolled into the in goal in Mulatalo's tackle. Welcome back, Jerome Hughes. 7th try of the season. There's the class rising to the top end. Cohen, Melbourne 8, Cronulla 4, kick to come.
Well, Dally M, you name it, premiership, Jerome Hughes and his importance into the lineup. There was a couple of people I spoke to in the tunnels. They talked about maybe the mojo was back with Jerome Hughes back into the lineup, and it certainly seems that way now.
And he's obviously still not 100% because I think he's not going to be playing for New Zealand in the Pacific Championships. So he's got to get through 2 games of footy before his off-season begins. Unfortunately for Kiwi fans, he's not going to be around for that upcoming Festival of Football.
Yeah, it's a shame. He would have been there, and he does so well on the international stage. But I think with the shoulder injury too, I think that takes up. But once again, Cronulla Sharks giving a penalty away early in the set to invite the opposition in their own end. And you just cannot keep doing it.
Meaney from just to right of the uprights kicks the conversion, and the Storm 10 lead the Sharks 4. 16 minutes played in this preliminary finals footy on ABC Sport. There's a bit of other sport going on around the place tonight as well, so a quick around the grounds. Quite a number of AFLW games. Melbourne has beaten Gold Coast 93-6. North Melbourne has beaten Essendon 71-41. And Carlton has beaten Fremantle 32-23. Half-time, the Bulldogs 5-4-34 lead the Dockers 1 straight 6. That's in the AFLW tonight. Of course, midday Eastern time tomorrow is the start time for our AFL Grand Final Day coverage. All the lead-in to the bounce down just after 3 o'clock. Be it on local radio, be it on the ABC Listen app. You'll be able to digital radio as well. You'll be able to hear it all from noon Australian Eastern time tomorrow. Restart for the Sharks, and Utuikamanu's tackled about a dozen from the goal line. Koza.
As I said, I wasn't convinced about Toby Rudolph. I think he's just gone down for an assessment as well. I'll find out more details.
Okay, great work. Ian Cohen prowling the touchline as almost a line break for Sean Blore, getting over the 20. Beat the first tackle. Burns there to put him down. Danger signs here for the Sharks as King rolls down the middle, third post, contact meters and an offload to Grant. Passes left to Munster. On to Blore. Blore cut down by the tackle of Hines. 5 inside Melbourne territory. Back to right in centre field. Munster runs laterally across the halfway line. Passes right to Hughes. Gives it to Katoa. Passes on to Meaney. Meaney's got Ero in front of him, and Ero makes the tackle. Last play of the set coming up for Melbourne. 38 metres from the Storm line out on the right. It's a bomb from Hughes at the end of the set. Very, very high, quite shallow. Kennedy does well to run at it, leap it and catch it. The Sharks fullback diffusers, and Cronulla to start this set 20 from their own line. Storm 10, Sharks 4.
Just that last step from the Storm coming out there, just a few quick play the ball. Sean Blores, he seems nice and fresh after his couple of weeks off because he is running very hard and creating a nightmare for Nico Hines.
Sharks up to the 30 with Hamlin Uele out there already for Cronulla. Now Ramian takes contact, gets an offload away, second face here, Brayley. He decides to pop it up for Wilton's infield run. Teague Wilton taken, and the Sharks are still 10 inside their own half. Slightly left edge. Brayley passes right. Oh, went in behind for Nua Blake. Cleaned up by Hines. Gives it to the right edge, and Ramian's wrapped up by the tackle of Howarth. Near the NRL logo, just inside Cronulla territory, western side. End of the set. Pass goes to Hines. It's a shallow miss-hit torpedo, which is going to bounce anywhere. Bounces backwards into the hands of Trendle on the 30. Goes for a kick and chase. And the penalty, the penalty goes to Cronulla anyway. No,
it's offside by Cronulla.
Oh, hold on, Ash Klein's arms are left and right. And just... Now, penalty goes to the Storm. Ian Cohen on the touchline.
Yeah, confirmed Category 2 for Toby Rudolph, Category 2.
Yeah, well done, Koza. And we certainly saw that he didn't look all that right after that hit up.
No, he got hit hard. There was a bit of whiplash in there too.
Storm kick downfield and start the set with a Amini run to within 35 of the Cronulla line. 10-4 to the Storm. King rolls down the middle third, sets things up for this set. Centre park and 30 metres out for Melbourne. Grant out a dummy half, passes right for Hughes. Men in motion, gives to Munster. Second man Meaney on the right edge. He's taken down by Eero. And Meaney so good out there to help create the first try. Warbrick passes infield from dummy half to Munster. Has a go himself, Munster. Draws a couple of tacklers, offloads to Grant, gives it to Udawikamanu. Over the 20, big Stefano. Offloads to Pappenhausen. Flick pass to Grant. Kept alive to Munster. He's on the 10, Munster, and put down only 8 metres out. Oh, they're dazzling here, Melbourne. And they get 6 again on a ruck infringement. Grant has a scoot out of dummy half, but can't get through. Taken down by Wilson, only a couple of metres out. Swept to left and centre field for Munster. Big show, and then he goes himself. Driven into the deck, though, by Hamlin, Ueli and others. And Munster to play at 9 metres from the Sharks line. Grant long pass to the right for Liero. Second man Hughes. Inside line for Katoa. Well read by Colquhoun. Nice front-on-front contact to stop the run of Katoa on the right edge. Storm still only 5 metres out. Grant runs infield to the left, gives it to Hughes on the 10. Dummy and straight, and he's already got one. That dragged down this time a metre shy by the tackle of Brayley. Played to Grant, pass left, Munster given on to Bloor. Bloor goes himself, flick pass back infield to Pappenhausen. Great defence from Kennedy, among others, to stop him a couple of metres out. Last play now here for the Storm. Loose play the ball. Grant passes infield though to Munster. Kicks it out wide to Warbrick's wing. He doesn't try to catch. He taps it back to Meaney. Meaney's tackled over the touchline. Brilliantly by Eero. Tried to flick it back into the field of play, but Eero's defence was too good. And I do not know how, Ryan Hoffman, Cronulla Sutherland did not concede a try there.
Unbelievable defence there by Cronulla. Ronaldo Mulatalo was a long way infield, so Munster went the punch kick, but it was just a bit too high, which gave chance for Cronulla to come over. Warbrick went for the tap back instead of the catch, but great scramble. Kaoliro, take a bow, and it's been decided the pass was forward, so Cronulla 20-metre tap. That was good play. Good play by both teams.
Well, when Melbourne get going like that, all opposition coaches' boxes get nervy. But that was a great piece of defence from this Sharks team, who has won 9 of their last 10 games and won 5 in a row. They've been in terrific form, the men from the Shire. They've already ridden through 2 sudden death games in this series. Out of dummy half. He's one of the reasons. Brayley with a little scoot there before Grant gets him. Sharks are on halfway. 10-4 the scoreline in favour of Melbourne. Rabian runs out of dummy half. Pushes off a defender. Passes to Colquhoun. Colquhoun's put down by the tackle of Eli Katoa and Hughes. Cronulla 38 metres out. Brayley to the blind side left. Gives to Trimble onto Wilton. He's taken down just by Eli Katoa. Good hit back in this set from the Sharks. They're now only 21 out. It's been good footy from them. Adam Fanua Blake rolls down the middle third. Runs into King and others. And ref Klein says 5. Last play Sharks 12 metres out. Blindside Trendle. Grubber for the in-goal. Taken by Pappenhausen. And he bounces out of 1. Tries to skip out of a second, but the flying mullet is grounded. 10 from the Melbourne line. Storm 10, Sharks 4, with 17.5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, I said before the game, there might be a bit of a worry about signs of rust by Ryan Pappenhausen. Definitely no rust there. He got his head down over the ball and picked it up. Brave effort, got the ball up, broke a tackle and got the Melbourne Storm set off to a good start.
And just got the feeling, Hoppy, that was an important set for the Sharks. They threw something at the Storm, having repelled them. Previous set as Coates goes down the middle third. Melbourne a dozen from halfway. Quick play the ball. Pappenhausen gives it infield, and the run of Howarth. He stopped just before the halfway line. Now Hughes has got some time to stroll a couple of metres before kicking downfield at the end of the set. Fielded on the bounce by Katoa, 10 from his own line, and the kick return gets to the 20 before he stopped. Ian Cohen on the touchline. Is it just me, or is there a cracking pace about this game?
There is a fast and furious pace. There is plenty of pepper on this match. Line breaks and tackle breaks 11-1 Melbourne Storm's favour, so the stats are starting to tell.
16.5 to the break. 2 tries to 1 in favour of the Storm. 10-4 Melbourne over Cronulla Sutherland. It's finals footy on ABC Sport. Sharks have got the ball on the western side here on the run of Ramian. Plays it on the NRL logo on the halfway line. Couple of passes to centre field for Fanua Blake. And the big off-season buy from the Warriors. Oh, he's still got men around him, and those thighs take him a couple of metres closer. Plays it 38 metres out. Passes to the left at the end of the set. Drindle with a bomb. It'll come down in Warbrick's corner. It's tapped backwards on the Sharks side, and then Hines knocks it on, trying to clean it up. So the Storm survived. It was battered backwards about 10 metres away from where it came down, but Hines unable to handle it, and the Storm will get the ball.
Yeah, that's the first sort of challenge we've seen between Ronaldo Mulatalo, the Shark kicking down to him up against Will Warbrick. He did get the hand to it first, but there, Nico Hines just could not regather. I'll tell you what, you spoke about those tackle breaks, Koza, 11 of them, I reckon they all come from Stefano Utoikamanu.
He's having a big game as Meany runs up to the 30-metre line down at that southern end of the field. 10-4 in favour of Melbourne. Munster now shows it left side, gives the pass to the edge through Howarth onto Blort's forward.
Yep.
And they gave it away too. It was right in front of us, and everyone stopped and had a look, and Ref Klein got a call from his touchy, and indeed that's a forward pass.
Yeah, this is the edge that the Storm need to attack, this left edge. They've had quite a bit of success here. Xavier Coates made a bit of a break, which got him a repeat set, and Munster's running the ball really well. Bad pass there by Jack Howarth, but that's the play they need to come. They need to keep attacking the Sharks' right edge.
Loving your messages, keep them coming. 0467 920 222 is the number. Just haven't had a chance to really get to them because the footy's so quick, but we'll try and get to them at half time or an appropriate point. 0467 920 222 the number. Sharks with the ball off the scrum win. 15 minutes to the break. First carry taken by Sione Katoa. He's 30 from Melbourne's line. Couple of passes to centre field, and Braden Hamlin-Ueli runs into a 3-man tackling brigade led by King. Ball play 20 out. Brayley goes himself on a little scoot, gains a dozen. And, well, there's a boot that's flown out of that tackling contest as well. There's a high tackle. It was Brayley's right boot that's come off.
He's that fast he ran out of his boot.
And the penalty is a high tackle. Oh, Pappenhausen. I don't think it's on report. Now the farrier's been called, he's been reshot, he's ready to go. Brayley taps and gives it to Hamlin-Ueli. Straightening head up, taken 5 metres out. Sharks on the attack to the right. Hines a pump and give. Well, the ball goes to Deck, and I think the penalty goes to Cronulla here on a tackle on suspicion on Ramian.
He didn't actually tackle it.
Yeah.
There's no influence on what happened outside.
He doesn't jam if I'm not released.
Yeah, I know that. No. I disagree there.
So
he got away with one there, Nico Hines.
And Sione Katoa's in the hands of the trainer as well, Ian, close on our side. So already Toby Rudolph out with the cat, well, up the race with the cat too. So that's a watch for the Sharks. They'll tap and go again here. Cronulla on the attack. Burns to play the ball. Storm lead by 6. Brayley passes left. Calhoun charges down the middle third right into the tackle of King, but he needs some help, and he gets it from Harry Grant to stop. Jesse Calhoun only a metre from the goal line. Played to Brayley. Passes left for Trindle. Dummies. Obstruction line. Penalty Melbourne. Yeah, that was Kaeliro who just got in the way there, and they marked that up on the left edge, the Sharks. And sometimes the refs let them get away with it, but not on that occasion because Iro ran straight through the oncoming defence.
Yeah, the Sharks are trying very hard to get at Jerome Hughes, but what Jerome Hughes is doing is his line speed is massive. He is getting so far up ahead of the ball, they're forcing it inside every single time. He doesn't want to get an attacker with a full head of steam running at him, so that's how he's defending, and it's just throwing out the Cronulla Sharks' timing and rhythm on that edge.
Listeners from all around the world, people on boats between Ireland and Scotland, the Lake Vermont mine, someone in in Spain. That's Grego who's enjoying the calls. Thanks for all those messages. 0467 920 222. Melbourne on that penalty downfield, and now with the run of Hughes, they're into attacking territory. 45 from the Sharks line through the hands of Liero. Give it to Munster. Munster with a dummy breaks the tackle to the 30. Oh, he steps Kennedy brilliantly. Almost loses his pants, but just as well Brayley held on to Munster's dack. Or Munster was in. He plays it pantless to Grant. Passes to the right. Liero's flat-footed. Gives it on to Pappenhausen. Does a step and a twirl and a dance. And he's tackled his Paps. Only 5 metres from the goal line, just to the right of the uprights. Back to the left. Munster's got his pants on now. To pass to the left. Picked up there by Bloor. Past infield. Hits the deck. McDonald picks up. Gives it to Pappenhausen. A dozen out. Puts on the dance. Puts on the pass to Meaney. Meaney is stopped by 3 defenders right on the goal line. That was the last. Some football this in the preliminary final. How did the Sharks have said that again?
Yeah, great scramble. Cronulla Sutherland, though. They had another penalty coming out. Teams are terrible, just inviting teams out of their own end. But Cronulla Sharks, that's it. Cameron Munster's throwing dummies left, right and centre, but they just scramble. They just get those black, white and blue jerseys in the picture, and they are just holding the Melbourne Storm. But is all this energy they're spending going to affect them later on in the game?
Yeah, that was a crusher, which I don't think has gone on report as not much of a gain on the kick downfield. Sharks are 20 from their own line. 11 minutes to the break. Melbourne lead Cronulla Sutherland 10 points to 4. It's finals footy on ABC Sport. This huge weekend where not only we have both NRL and NRLW preliminary finals for you, the AFL Grand Final from noon tomorrow. Bledisloe Cup's on the Listen app from 3 tomorrow as well, all on the national broadcaster, as now Big Sifa Talakai's out there. So too Oregon Kaufusi. So a couple of the big boppers off the bench for the Sharks. They roll to the 40 inside their own half. Here's another one of them. Hamlin Ueli. They are large off the bench. Cronulla.
Massive.
And Hamlin Ueli gets to halfway. We'll play the ball there to Brayley. Given through the hands of Talakai onto Hines. Runs it. Pops it up. Beautiful ball. Puts Burns through a hole. He passes to Ramian, who passes to Sione Katoa. Reeled in by Coates. Coates slips off the tackle. Katoa goes in to score. Sione Katoa's got a double in the preliminary final. And Melbourne's lead is trimmed 10 points to 8 with a Sharks conversion attempt to come.
Yeah, great work there by Cronulla. Billy Burns hit a beautiful hole right on Cameron Munster. Cameron Munster just turned his body in, which made the pass much easier. Great offload. Sione Katoa had a lot of work to do because Xavier Coates was breathing down his neck. He had a good shot on him and just gets the ball inside the in-goal sideline.
Oh, thank the Sharks could thank that little shower we had an hour before the kickoff, I reckon, Koza, because Xavier Coates just slipped off the grip there.
Yeah, he just couldn't quite make it. He couldn't quite get him out either. That was the hard thing, and he went right over the top. Did slip the tackle. It was like a rodeo. The crowd just kept up and going. It was quite extraordinary, but you got to give it to Katoa. Fantastic. Both tries on this right-hand side. And earlier on, he was nursing a really sore right shoulder, but it appears to be absolutely cherry ripe now.
So 7 tries now for the season. A double for the Sharks right winger, Sione Katoa. And Nicho Hynes will now try and level the scores from the right wing touchline. Ball on the kicking tee is right on that western paint.
We can just keep saying the same thing. Teams just keep tries are coming off the back and piggyback penalties out of the opposition's own end. Both teams are guilty of it.
And that being said, the Sharks have earned the right for those penalties, though. I don't know how they've defended.
Certainly,
in the last 10 minutes. They've been exceptional, protecting their own line. A man who knows the geography of these parts, Nicho Hynes. 36 games in 3 years here in Melbourne. Big money recruit to go to the Shire, and he's been very good since making the move. This will require his best, though, to level the scores. Same as the first one. It's across the face. He's lucky to have the journey as well. So Hynes from the right wing touchline is none from 2. Melbourne stay in front, albeit just. Storm 10, Sharks 8, with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first half, Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, there was really nothing on for that try, to be quite honest. Nicho Hynes just drifting across field, but Billy Burns hit a beautiful, beautiful hole. And it shows how good he actually is going, keeping the likes of Brighton Nicho on the bench. They've got an unbelievable back row rotation, the Cronulla Sharks.
Billy Burns in his second year at the Sharks, having spent time at Penrith and the Dragons in his journey as well, as Meaney with the restarts quite deep. Metre into the in-goal area, taken by Kennedy, and give it to Rudolph, who's back out there, Ian, so he must be okay. Toby Rudolph to the 10.
Yes, you're exactly right. We just got word he has passed, so that's good news for the Sharks.
And Cohen down on the touchline as Oregon Kafusi, play 2 is up to the 20. Down at the Slater stand end, the northern end of this venue. Eero coming in on the left edge. Takes the Sharks up to the 30-metre line inside their own half. Plays the ball to Brayley. Given on to Big Talakai. See a sit for Talakai. 10 from halfway, middle third when he's taken. Played to Brayley. Given back to Rudolph. Rudolph to the halfway line. Not fancy, but very effective for Cronulla to get to the attacking half at the end of the set. High kick from Hines at the end of it. It's looked at and caught by Pappenhausen, the Melbourne fullback. 11 from his own line. Decides to give the pass across the 10-metre line to Warbrick. But Warbrick's got no running room, and he's taken 15 from that southern in-goal area. Pappenhausen comes in to distributor. Gives it off to Coates. And Coates midway goal line and halfway when stopped again. Paps, not a good play. The ball. Coates has mucked it up.
No, it's a penalty.
Penalty for a hand in the ruck, was it? I saw the ball come out in an ungainly manner, Hoffy, and immediately...
Yeah.
You know what? I got caught by the shortish Ash Klein whistle rather than the long...
The long
It sounded like a
long penalty whistle.
It was a short, bad play-the-ball whistle rather than a long...
Yeah.
That's a penalty whistle. But no, it was a penalty.
It was a penalty. A lot of times that they aren't given, to be honest.
Yeah. So that was for ruck interference. Storm fine touch about 5 from halfway. First play of the new set is taken by Katoa on the halfway line. Now Alec McDonald out there for the Storm. He stopped 41 metres from the Sharks line. 7 minutes to the break. Melbourne lead 10-8. Hughes to the left gives to Munster, who's dummying and dancing all the way through the night. Almost another line break there. Talakai ankle tapped him. 30 out. Plays the ball. Kamikamitha down the middle third. The veteran bench forward for the Storm. 23 metres out centre field. Stopped. He plays it to Grant. Given left to Munster. Again runs at Cam Munster. Boy, he's just attacking the line with his running game tonight. He stopped 18 metres out, slightly left edge. Last play for Melbourne. Grant gives it to Hughes, who puts up a bomb into Air Coates territory. He catches it. He's standing as Coates, but he's got 4 defenders around him and has to give the ball up to the Sharks. Hand over end of the set. Cronulla survive.
Yeah, really good work by Cronulla. They let Katoa go up and contest it against Xavier Coates. He didn't win that battle, but there are enough Cronulla jerseys in behind the ball. So they've obviously done their homework. They're happy to let Xavier Coates catch the ball as long as they have plenty of jumpers behind him.
Katoa on an infield run, no great gain. Now Eero beyond the 10. 6 minutes to the break. It's 2 tries apiece in Melbourne. Finals footy on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull and Premiership winner Ryan Hoffman next to me, Ian Cohen, down on the touchline. Your texts continue to be welcome on 0467 920 222. Talakai to the 30. Now Rudolph down the middle third. Toby Rudolph about 18 metres from halfway when he's met in the tackle of McDonald and Liero and others. End of the set. Trindle has to boot it downfield. It's a bit of a miss-hit right foot torpy, which is gathered on the bounce by Warbrick on the 30. And his kick return stops about 11 metres inside Melbourne territory. And quite noticeably, there are a lot of tired forwards trying to get back on side. This has been breakneck in this preliminary final on a gorgeous night in Melbourne and sold out here at the Storm's home. Pappenhausen puts on the gas for a little spurt. He got past one. Kafusi was left in his wake, but the tackle is made by Talakai and also Rudolph. He goes from 0 to 100 so quick. Paps, next play. Liero 30 out. Now plays it. Give it on to Munster. Grubber infield for Pappenhausen. Kicks it along the deck. Dives on it in the in goal. And referee Klein points to the spot. That is the purple at its very best. Munster with the creative kick. Pappenhausen with the pace. And then the deft touch on the toe. And he dives on it to extend the Storm's lead. 14-8 kick to come.
Yeah, set play by the Melbourne Storm. They've obviously identified something there. That were 3 shots in behind the ruck. 1, 2, 3. Getting Will Kennedy into the defensive line. And Pappenhausen was screaming through to that kick. So he knew what was coming. They set it up perfectly. Lovely little kick from Munster putting it through. Pappenhausen could have gone for the pickup, but he went to put it on again. Gets the ball over the line.
Oh.
Gets there first.
Cam Munster's running game tonight, Hoffy.
He's asking questions. He's constantly asking questions. But it's the running game of the whole spine, to be honest. It's Munster, Pappenhausen and Hughes. They have been asking a lot of questions of the Sharks' defence, and they're finding a bit of space.
Now, 15 tries for the season for Ryan Pappenhausen, and absolutely point-blank range for Nick Meaney to kick the conversion. Kennedy was there, but he just couldn't get his body in position to stop Pappenhausen grounding it right next to the padding of the post. Meaney approaches, strikes, raises the flags. 2 from 3 on the night for Nick Meaney. And Melbourne lead the game by 16 points to 18, Cohen on the touchline.
It's been a while since obviously this spine has played together, and they have really hit their straps, no doubt about that. Pappenhausen was lurking with intent for the build-up to that, the plays beforehand, and then Cam Munster just did the superb work on that left foot. It was a little bit ugly, but it bounced okay for Paps. One man who's going to want to score out there is Alec McDonald. He's the only one of 17 out there after 18 matches, still yet to score a try and still on a nudie run.
I was about to say, when Melbourne Storm got the ball on that set, there was 5 minutes to go. It's coming into a dangerous time for both teams. Cronulla didn't need that leading into half-time, to state the obvious.
Rayleigh with the restart for the Sharks. Hughes catches a couple of metres from the goal line, and there he is, nudie man. Alec McDonald with a run about a dozen metres from that southern in-goal area. Kamikamitha now. Oh, the thighs pump for 5 and 6 post-contact metres for Big Tui. Almost to the 30. Played to Grant. Given on to Munster with another run. Well read that time by Rudolph. Got in his face. Now this is the danger time for anyone who knows Melbourne Storm footy. 3 minutes from the break and they've got some momentum. Games have been won and lost in this period when the Purple get on a roll. Sharks will be aware. Pappenhausen to halfway. He'll get up and play the football on 5. Grant passes it on to Hughes, who puts a bomb downfield at the end of the set. It's Kennedy's job to catch it. He's up to the task. 15 from his own line and has stopped. And the Sharks will start this set down at the Slater stand and the northern end of this stadium. One man infield goes Ramian, short of the 20 before being taken by the tackle of Liero. Played to Hines. Given on to Eero. Tries to put on a little step, but Grant takes him classic style around the bootlaces. Meaney wraps up the ball up top. Sharks 25 for them own line now. Rudolph hits the ball with pace, but straight into the tackling there of it's led by McDonald. Good first contact. Put him down straight away. Now a couple of sets of hands to the right. Burns takes contact. Keeps it alive on the 40. Passes to Browley. Back to the left. Through the hands of Kennedy. Beautiful floated ball from Trendle to the left edge. Mulatalo draws the tackle of Warbrick. Offloads. Eero's tackle but keeps it alive. The Sharks are on their 40. Kennedy's got it. Pops it up. Kafusi. Pops it back to Trendle. Trendle to Rudolph. Now they're very flat-footed, the Sharks, and eventually Rudolph is tackled. 45 metres from the Melbourne line. Last play for Cronulla. Trendle puts up a towering bomb. It's Warbrick's job to catch it, and he does. Leaping, catching it on his chest. Bounces away from a couple. Running infield. He got away from Hines before slipping over. Great kick return from Warbrick, who's 22 from his own line when stopped. There's about 70 seconds to the break. Melbourne have got it. They lead 16-8. And Coates left edge, taken on the 30. I don't think there's any cogging down to the break here. Left edge goes Howarth up to the 40. He's 10 inside his own half. Probably 2 or 3 plays left for Melbourne. To the right it's given to Munster. Munster through the hands to Hughes. Hughes out to the right edge for Meaney. Nice one-on-one tackle made by Eero. Puts him down out on the right edge. 48 seconds left. So, well, they'll get through the whole set here. The Storm. McDonald on a straightener. Stop 40 metres out. Last play says Ref Klein. Storm with the ball. Go blindside right to Hughes. Hughes with a bomb. It's a centre field bomb. Kennedy out left by Eli Katoa. Chucks it out the back. Kept alive. Picked up by Pappenhausen. He's 20 metres out. Play on. It's still the last. His pass intercepted by Burns. Cronulla's got it. Burns gives a pass, which eventually will see the Sharks die with the ball on their own 20. Mulatalo's got it and tackled. I need this 12 seconds to go quickly, Hoffy. I need some oxygen. And the Sharks need it as well. They're all milling around this play the ball on their own 20. Sione Katoa doesn't want to play it. He's on a knee and waits for the clock to run down and says, that's enough, boys. Let's go to the sheds. Half-time in the preliminary final in Melbourne. And it's the Storm leading the Sharks 16 points to 8. 3 tries to 2 for the locals in the first half. Warbrick, Hughes and Pappenhausen, the try scorers. Sione Katoa has scored both tries for Cronulla. Off the kicking tee, Meaney's got 2 from 3, Hines 0 from 2. And it was a tic-tac of scoring throughout. Storm first try to Warbrick 7 minutes in. Sione Katoa's 13 minutes in. Then Hughes 16 minutes in. Then Sione Katoa's second on the half hour. And then Pappenhausen's 4 minutes from the break. So it's a you score, we score. Storm 3-2, 16-8.
Yeah, I think Cronulla's the happiest team in Australia right now going to half-time. I think the Melbourne Storm would have loved the half to go on for another 10 minutes because, to use the opposite pun, they smelt blood in the water. They really did. They were attacking right to the edge there, and Cronulla were backtracking. Can I tell you what the most telling stat is right now? And that is Cameron Munster, 10 runs for 110 metres. That shows his intent tonight. When Cameron Munster is running that well, the Melbourne Storm are in good nick. For Cronulla, they're happy for half-time. They can regroup, reassess. They can prove that they can score points. They can score tries against this Melbourne Storm team, but they just need to weather the... Oh, I'm Pun City this week. I am Pun City.
That's all right.
But weather the Storm... That's
so
at
the
the start of the
Storm
second
have
half.
got the blood in the water against the Sharks.
Yep.
Yet the Sharks are weathering the Storm.
There you go.
Yep. Some of your best work.
I look forward to the text messages of people absolutely ripping me apart for that.
No, not at all. 0467 920 222. Ian Cohen on the touchline.
I can't wait for the comedy festival. Ryan Hoffman's going to be headlining at the Town Hall for sure, I would suggest after that. Hasn't there been some hot sauce on this 40 minutes? You've been calling the lights out, Q, and no doubt you need a break. The rest of us do as well, but I agree with Hoffy. Sharks were just hanging on at the end. They're just hanging on. They will regroup. They've had plenty of opportunity. They're playing some awesome football, and this is just wonderful to watch. But we said it was going to be high scoring. I reckon it's going to be up in the 30s, each of them, and I think we've still got plenty more to come.
Is there a more dangerous playmaker in the game when Cameron Munster decides to have a night where he's going to run the ball?
He is going to run, and that line's not coming up. It's alarm bells. It really is.
On the text message, by the way, 16-8, that half-time score, 0467 920 222. Heaps of messages coming through. Thank you for your patience that we haven't been able to get to all of them. But there's just, well, it's that time of year. The footy's so quick. Shout out to the boys at D Crew, 110 Lake Vermont, up the Melbourne Storm. He says Storm Broncos grand final. Thank you. Carl from Sardinia is enjoying the game from the Golfo Aranci. I hope I pronounced that correctly. In Sardinia. There you go.
Is that Italy?
I think so, yes. Go the Storm from the campers on the Herbert River at Gunawarra Cattle Station in far north Queensland. Let's go Panthers, enjoying the game from Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. That's an unnamed text. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. Simple one here. Go Storm from Nancy in Toowoomba. Good on you. Jess and Kerry from Brisbane. They're listening. They were a couple listening on a ferry from Scotland to Ireland. 0467 920 222. And g'day to Dibbo, who says, listening to the football while sitting around the fire with the Dibden crew, Gecko and Cherie at Hold It Flats in Yalbaroo, Queensland.
Don't ask me to point it out on the map.
There's more Australiana in that text than I can handle. 0467 920 222. Please send us your name and where you're texting from, wherever you are around Australia, around the world. Finals footy on ABC Sport. It's the Melbourne Storm 16 leading the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks 8 half-time in the preliminary final. More from Melbourne after a break with the newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is in London, where he's joining fellow progressive leaders for a summit to discuss navigating a difficult global landscape. ABC national political lead David Spears is there.
He's attending a gathering of fellow progressive leaders, including his counterparts from the UK, Canada, Denmark and Spain. Some US Democrats are here as well. It's for what's called the Global Progress Action Summit, where they're sharing tips, strategies and ideas on how to succeed with a centre-left agenda and counter political opponents on the right, including populists. The Prime Minister began his day meeting the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. He's also attending the summit. Later tonight, Anthony Albanese meets his British counterpart Sir Keir Starmer, where they'll, amongst other things, be discussing the AUKUS deal.
A criminologist says high prices for nicotine products is only driving people to the black market. The government's gradually increased tobacco prices and restricted vape sales as a way to discourage smoking. But the Federal Health Minister today conceded that organised crime has the market in a stranglehold. Deakin University criminologist James Martin says it's a consequence of the government's taxes on tobacco.
If you restrict the legal supply of goods for which there's high demand, that creates opportunities for organised crime groups who supply these products. It's not to say that there aren't other contributing factors, things like cost of living crisis, but they wouldn't have the salience that they do if the price wasn't so high, and that's mostly due to taxation.
Australia's peak pharmaceutical industry body says the focus on trade with the US should pivot to protecting and maintaining the PBS. There will be a 100% tariff on imports of branded or patented pharmaceutical products into the United States from next week, unless a company is building a manufacturing plant in America. CEO of Medicines Australia, Liz DeSoma, says while it's concerning, increasing access and reducing wait time is what the government and industry needs to be focusing on.
Those measures President Trump is trying to implement to reduce prices of pharmaceuticals in the US is actually unaffordable for companies to be able to operate. So decisions will be taken and are already being taken to delay launching new medicines in Australia, and that will further exacerbate delays.
A former US federal prosecutor has described former FBI boss James Comey's indictment on alleged crimes related to the disclosure of sensitive information as a dark day for the Justice Department. Chelsea Hetherington reports.
Former FBI boss James Comey has been charged with one count of making false statements and another of obstruction of justice relating to testimony he gave to Congress in 2020. He was fired by President Donald Trump during his first term in office amid an investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. Mr. Comey is the first ex-FBI director to be indicted for a crime, something former US federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani has described as unprecedented.
So we really are at the brink of a crisis in the Department of Justice.
If found guilty, Mr. Comey could face up to 5 years in prison. He's vowed to fight for his innocence.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says his talks with US President Donald Trump yielded meaningful progress in many areas. The pair met at the White House yesterday discussing the future of Syria, the possible purchase of American fighter jets by Turkey, and the lifting of American sanctions. Mr. Erdogan has told reporters during his return flight that they are leaving Washington happy. Earlier, Mr. Trump called his Turkish counterpart a good friend. The ACT Supreme Court trial of a teenage girl accused of sexually assaulting and stalking her former boyfriend has ended with no result after the jury was unable to reach a verdict. Here's Elizabeth Byrne.
The jury deliberated for almost 4 days. The girl, who was 14 at the time, was charged with 5 offences, which included encouraging the boy to take his own life. The allegations came to light after the boy was hospitalised. The case relied on evidence from many of the pair's friends and numerous text messages, mostly sent on Snapchat. The girl denied all the allegations. The jury sent more than 20 notes with questions for the court, but even after a day of rest yesterday, was still unable to reach a verdict. The case will be listed again next month.
And police have arrested a 39-year-old man after allegedly finding a kilogram of heroin in a Melbourne property this morning. The Malaysian national's been charged with possession of a border-controlled drug reasonably suspected of being imported. You're up to date with the very latest from ABC News.
September means finals footy.
He's over the 10, steps in field, they score!
But at ABC Sport, it also means we're counting down to the summer of cricket.
Mr. Smith thumps that through cover point away for 4.
Starting Tuesday night, the Women's ODI World Cup.
Big 6 from Phoebe Litchfield.
Plus Australia versus India in the Men's ODI and T20s. The WBBL, the Big Bash, and the biggest rivalry in the game.
The Ashes.
The Ashes.
Stark rumbles in and bowls it down. Bowled! He's bowled it! First ball!
ABC Sport and the ABC Listener. Your home of cricket this summer.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Final Series.
Plays the ball to Grant. Passes right through Liero. Onto Hughes. Gives it on to Meaney. Meaney with the fend on Hero. And the pass to Warbrick in the corner. Warbrick flies, dives in and scores. Oh, the skill of Nick Meaney to put on the stutter step and then open up that right arm offload with the left-handed bend. Will Warbrick and the Storm the beneficiary? Calhoun plays it. Brayley's hand got knocked as he passed it right. Play on. Hines gives to Kennedy. Kennedy's pass puts Sione Katoa over in the right corner. 2 tries in the game. 2 to the number 2 right wingers. Warbrick's try answered by Sione Katoa. And the Sharks hit back. Howarth taken on the 30. Now a couple of passes to centre field. Udawika Manu like a dodgem car bouncing off tacklers. Got an offload to Hughes. Hughes makes a line break. Hughes to the 10. Beats the fullback. And Jerome Hughes, busted arm and all, makes a huge play to score the Storm's second try. Hamlin Ueli gets to halfway. Will play the ball there to Brayley. Given through the hands of Talakai onto Hines. Runs it. Pops it up. Beautiful ball. Puts Burns through a hole. He passes to Ramian, who passes to Sione Katoa. Reeled in by Coates. Coates slips off the tackle. Katoa goes in to score. Sione Katoa's got a double in the preliminary final. The Arrow 30 out. Now plays it. Given on to Munster. Grubber infield for Pappenhausen. Kicks it along the deck. Dives on it in the end goal. And referee Klein points to the spot. That is the purple at its very best.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Final Series.
Great to have your company on this gorgeous Friday night, the first of the NRL preliminary finals for 2025. My name is Quentin Hull. You're listening to Finals Footy on ABC Sport. The Storm 40 minutes away from returning to yet another grand final. They were there last year only to be beaten by Penrith. They were there in 2020 as well when they played in that game against the Panthers as well. So 16 points to 8 is the scoreline. It's 3 tries to 2. I'm here calling the game with a man who's been to 4 grand finals, Ryan Hoffman. Ian Cohen's down on the touchline. Plenty of texts coming in, which I'll get to in a moment. But Hoffy, I just thought I'd take a moment. We've all just caught our breath. You're right about the Sharks being the happiest people in Australia. To hear that hooter, it seemed like 16 to 8. You know, the good thing about Cronulla is they've got time to reset now because, boy, the Storm were coming to get them at the back end of that first half.
Yeah, they really were. They'd start to find their groove. They stopped giving away those penalties that were making them come out of their own end. So it was a big finish that last 5 minutes. Off the back, they got a lot of confidence off the back of the Pappenhausen try. So, look, Cronulla can reset, and they will. They'll take a lot of solace out. The tries they scored were relatively easy, to be quite honest. So if they get some sustained pressure inside the Melbourne Storm end, they can certainly give them trouble.
Now, on the SMS, 0467 920 222, there's plenty of messages coming in from all around the place. A reminder as well, not only do we have the AFL Grand Final at 3 o'clock bounce down tomorrow, but around that time on the Listen app, you'll be able to hear the first of the Bledisloe Cup Test matches. Just look for the Sports Extra button. New Zealand hosting Australia at Eden Park. So midday our coverage of the AFL Grand Final Eastern Time. 3 o'clock the coverage of the Bledisloe Cup. And then in the evening we'll be in Gosford for the NRLW's first preliminary final. That features the Roosters taking on Cronulla. And then on Sunday, of course, the doubleheader at Brisbane. The Broncos v Knights in the women's game at 1:15, and the Broncos taking on the Panthers in the men's game at 4 o'clock. Women's World Cup coming up middle of next week as well. So plenty, all on the ABC Listen app. If you haven't got it downloaded, it's pretty easy to do, and look for those coloured icons, the red and blue for the AFL, the green for the NRL, green's the Sports Extra button as well, and that cricket will be on a special pink looking cricket ball button for that Women's World Cup. Cody texts, is the score 16 to 8 flattering the Storm, flattering the Sharks at half time?
No, I don't think so. The Sharks have played well, and then the Melbourne Storm were just 1 try better. It's 3 tries to 2. So the Storm just scored the last try. So as I said, Cronulla gets more sustained pressure inside the Melbourne Storm edge. They can trouble them. The concerning thing for me with Cronulla is the Melbourne Storm has twice as many tackle breaks. So it's 19 to 18. 9 to 18 for the Melbourne Storm with 18 tackle breaks. That's fatigue. That's fatigue. And will that extra game just make it too hard for Cronulla? Wait to see.
G'day to the Evergreens, who are Brisbaneites on a boat in Turkey. Go the Sharks. Thank you. Simon text, go Storm. Hi, fellas. I'm listening from Samago on the Nakasendo Way in Japan. Loving the call. Lobby enjoying the call by the fire at Humbug Scrub. Go the Storm.
You know what we need? We need to get a map on the wall and then we start pinning where people are.
Yeah, we sort of like a little GPS dot of where everyone's texting from. John from Wairema texts, weird sensation tonight, backing for the Storm. Go the Storm this week only.
Okay.
So he's obviously not a regular Stormer. Speaking of which, Craig Bellamy's Melbourne Storm coach teams across the journey have been in front in 28 finals. You know how many times they've won those?
How many? I get nervous about these records.
28.
It's a pretty fair record.
28 in a row. A Craig Bellamy coached Melbourne Storm team has never lost a final when it's been in front at half time. So, Melbourne fans, what's that? Get on the web and start looking for flights to Sydney for next weekend. Who knows? Let's see what happens in this second half. Melbourne lead 16-8. Cronulla with the first possession. The Sharks now running to the northern end. First carry taken by Oregon Kaufusi about 15 metres from that southern end in gorgeous Friday night conditions. Winner to the grand final, loser is done for 2025. Euro up to the 20 on the second carry. Plays it for the Sharks to Brayley. To the right, it's through the hands of Talakai to Rudolph, but great defence. Great defence by Blore and Munster, pushing back a couple of metres. He lost ground there. Now Ramian runs into a tackle there from Grant and McDonald. Sharks are only midway goal line and halfway. This first set of the second half is Talakai down the middle third. He got through the tackle of Blore but couldn't beat the second phase, led by Liero. Last play of the opening set of the second half. Trindle from inside the 40. Puts a kick downfield. It won't threaten the touchline. Caught by Pappenhausen. 10 from his own line, and he slips a little into the tackle. It always is a little ungainly, but he looks okay. And Paps to get up and play it on the 30 for the Storm. Coates runs into the defence. He's just beyond the 30-metre line. We'll get down to Ian Cohen on the touchline as the Storm punch it up. Koza, what news from the rooms at half-time?
Well, both of them were talking about discipline and penalties. Obviously, Storm were very pleased with their completion and they want to keep the foot on the throat. For the Sharks, it was all about field position and pressure, but again, penalties and discipline as well.
And Alec McDonald now with the ball, 10 from halfway. Plays the ball to Grant, given off left shoulder to Liero through the hands. Munster shows it, stops. Tries to accelerate but can't get through the tacklers there. 3 of them for the Sharks on halfway. It was Burns, it was Hines, it was Brayley all there to stop the Melbourne playmaker. End of the set. Jerome Hughes with a high kick from halfway. Kennedy's underneath it and takes it. And he's going to be stopped about midway goal line and halfway. And thanks to Ray Phillips, the former Queensland wicketkeeper and Ashes tourist, texting me. He says that Pride of Jenny won the Fee and Stakes tonight. Always a big race on grand final eve. And Jenny, she's back and rolling. She just keeps going, the old mighty mare. So thanks, Razor. 0467 920 222. 16-8 Melbourne lead the game over Cronulla as Wilton goes down the middle third, taken 7 metres from halfway. Plays the ball there to Brayley, given off left shoulder to Kaufusi. Rolls into attacking territory by a metre or two, wants to play it quickly and does. Last play of the set, Trindle from 45 out, puts up a bomb. It's Pappenhausen's to catch, and he does. A couple of metres from the goal line before Mulatalo jumps on him to make the tackle.
Yeah, both teams listen to their respective coaches. Very disciplined start defensively from both teams. Been really impressed with Oregon Kaufusi and Talakai coming off the bench. They're knocking the door down a bit more than what the starting front rowers for the Cronulla Sharks were doing.
Warbrick mid-set, just beyond the 20 from Melbourne. Punching it up from deep in their own territory. Now Coates has a go, almost got through Hines. Hines needed some help and lucky he got some there from Ramian to make the tackle. Now blindside left, Munster runs again, pops it to Howard. Howard half through a hole, but Hines drags him down. Melbourne 40 out in the left. Quick play the ball, Munster feeds to Grant. Give it to Hughes. Hughes with a shallow kick towards the right wing. It's caught by Eli Katoa, still the last. He chucks it out the back to Meaney. Meaney with a more meaningful kick deep. Caught by Kennedy, far from his own line. Storm fans are still waiting for a whistle on the previous kick. Not forthcoming. Kennedy pops it up to Sione Katoa. He's running laterally and eventually tackled about 13 metres from the Sharks line. Early stages second half. Melbourne 16, lead Cronulla Sutherland 8.
The action just picks up from where it did in the first half. A lot happening there. Cronulla Sharks last 2 kicks from Jerome Hughes. He has been under a lot of pressure and has shanked them both. So obviously direction coming from the coaches at half time.
And the crowd right on any kind of contact with the kickers, which is why we heard a bit of hoot and holler in there. Full house here in Melbourne. Finals footy on ABC Sport as Brayley's up to the 40. Given to Trindle inside the 40, going for the 40-20. He's got it in behind Warbrick. How's the bounce? Warbrick gets back in time, but he's pinned in his defensive right corner, 5 from his own line. Thought of the pass infield, decides to run it back himself. Steps through the tackle of Rudolph. Can't get through the tackle of Talakai. And Warbrick to play it 20 metres from the Storm line. I mean, Hoffy, it's this time of year. But, boy, this has been a quick game of football.
Yeah, it really has. Will Warbrick's had some great kick returns. He's been under a bit of pressure, but he's had some tremendous kick returns for the Storm.
Huge. Billy Burns has hurt. He's feeling at his mouth after a run from Eli Katoa. Keep an eye on that, Ian. Burns is back in the defensive line, but that hurt him. McDonald plays it on halfway. Grant picks up one-handed at dummy half, has a bit of a scoot, got his ankle taken by Wilton, and then dropped the ball. But the referee says penalty to Melbourne.
Yeah, I think he was playing advantage.
I know that, but he's interfered. He's in the passing lane.
I think he was playing advantage because I think Harry Grant got the markers offside, and Klein was playing advantage, and he lost the ball, which nullified the advantage. I was about to say nulligated, but I think that's a word.
No, but you've painted a good picture, though, right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah. Not a great gain on the kick downfield again from the Storm, but they settle up with Blore on the run to the 30. So Melbourne on the attack, and to the right they go. Hughes has got it, bouncing around. Jerome Hughes almost got through and is going to be tackled about 20 metres out. Hughes plays it there to Grant, passes to the right for Pappenhausen, runs at the line, short ball on to Meaney. Meaney is held up in the tackle by 3 defenders. Only 10 metres out. Pappenhausen is down, clutching at his left shoulder in back play. Pappenhausen down and hurt. Meanwhile, in the middle of the field, Cam Munster's got the ball for Melbourne. He's tackled. For those just joining us, welcome. It's Melbourne 6 leading Cronulla 8. Kamikamitha on a charge. He's tackled 5 metres from the goal line, early stages, second half. 6 more tackles. McDonald charges to the left of the ruck, but Alec McDonald can't get through. Pappenhausen's back and standing. We'll get to Ian in a moment. Middle of the field, Munster, 10 metres out, passes right for Hughes, shows it, gives it. There's Pappenhausen, he's okay, passes to Meaney, bobbles the catch, then does grab it. Grabbed by Wilton, and this Sharks defence holds up for the time being. Storm out in the right, 10 metres out, Grant to the left, gives it on to Hughes with a dummy and a straighten, but Hughes is taken down by the tackle of Talakai, 6 metres out, played to Grant, Melbourne to the left, given a Munster, pops it up for McDonald on the infield line, got through one, but Kennedy with a try saver on the goal line. Alec McDonald plays it for Melbourne, Grant grubbers for the in-goal area, it's too deep. It's too deep. Sean Blore was there, but it was about half a metre too long for him. Somehow, Cronulla survive out to the 20 for a 7 tackle set. First tackle of which taken by Mulatalo up to the 30.
Once again, amazing scramble by the Cronulla Sharks. There is a lot of tight forwards as they make a double change with Kafusi and Toby Rudolph coming off. But Harry Grant, right idea, poor execution. He pulls that one up. That's try time for Blore.
Sharks get to halfway on the run of Nickera. Pappenhausen and Cohen, what can you tell us?
Yeah, it was a big hit from Talakai, but Pappenhausen, we know he's tough as a $3 steak, and he's back out there and going again. So he's ready to go.
And
I think there's going to be a HIA here for Billy Burns.
Let's tune into Ref Klein.
Thanks, mate. You'll play the ball on tackle 3.
Yeah, so Burns, this was a set and a half ago. It's called about him feeling for his mouth.
There's a lot of claret on the front of the jersey from a cut on the chin by the looks.
Just wait that in.
Okay, so Billy Burns getting tested.
Make sure you use your foot when
brings
you play.
Braden Hamlin-Ueli out onto the field. 32 and a half minutes left in the game. No change to the halftime score. Melbourne leads 16-8 finals footy on ABC Sport. And Hamlin-Ueli straight into the action. Takes the ball into the defence. Sets it up for the Sharks. 32 out in centre field. Trindle to the left in motion. Pass to Wilton on the inside line. Great tackle. Eli Katoa to bring him down along with Hughes. Last play Sharks 20 metres out. To the left it's Trindle. They run it. Given on to Ero. He'll die with the ball. Tackled by Eli Katoa. Hand over. And Melbourne's ball down at the Slater stand end of the field and just looking around the stands. Cannot see many patches of green at all. And what I'm referring to, the green seats inside this stadium, not many to be seen.
No,
absolutely packed, Hoffy, isn't it?
It is absolutely chock, as we see. Big defenseman Talakai on Howarth.
Howarth still on the 20, so the Storm not making much ground in this set so far. Now Pappenhausen, it looks to have recovered okay. One man run up to the 30. A flying mullet. The superstar fullback for the Storm plays it. Now one man to the right for Meany. Give him 7 or 8 on the game. Plays it a dozen from halfway. Kamikamitha down the middle third. All slides in an ungainly manner into the tackle there. He's okay. He smashed into Big Adam Fanua, Blake and Braden Hamlin Uele. End of the set. Hughes from halfway puts up a bomb. It'll come down 20 metres out. Kennedy's there to catch it for the Sharks, and he defuses the bomb. And Kennedy will start this set for Cronulla. 10 in from the western side and 23 metres from the southern end. I reckon the Sharks would be pretty happy with the first 9 minutes. They've weathered, dare I say it, the puns again, Hoffy. They've weathered the Storm. They get a penalty here, and there's been no score in this second half when it seems the momentum of the game has been all purple.
Yeah, Cronulla definitely needed that penalty just to give themselves an opportunity here. It's been a bit tit for tat, going back with just an arm wrestle, but Cronulla break them first and they get the first opportunity to attack the Storm line.
Kick finds Chutz just inside the Sharks half. Hero takes the tap. Passes infield through Trindle to big Braden Hamlin Uele. And he's going to be ordered to play the football in the middle of the ground under the tackle there of Grant and Kamikamitha. Now inside line run there from Britton Nickera, fresh off the bench, showed some energy there. Nickera tackled 39 metres out, played to Brayley to the left. Fanua Blake onto big Talakai. Great ball play from the big fellas, but Talakai's got 3 around him to stop him. Seifer to play at left edge. 21 metres from the Storm line. Sharks on the attack. Trindle pops it up to a straightener from Fanua Blake, who got through one before being dragged down. Centre field and only 10 metres out. Sharks on a rumble here to the left. Trindle gives it on to Wilton. Infield on the run, but he's taken by Meany. And also Katoa a couple of metres out. Last play Sharks. Brayley to the right gives to Trindle. He chips for the in-goal area. Kennedy has a play but knocks it on. Flying with a couple of others. Bubba Kennedy couldn't catch it. It's gone dead. 7 tackle set. 20-metre restart coming up for the Storm, who lead at 16 points to 8. Oh, gee. Coates, hold on. The referee... The referee's called time up. Warbrick had a big slip there.
Come on.
Just start again.
Yeah.
Good kick there by Braden Trindle. Would have been no sense kicking all the way for Katoa to go up against Coates, but putting pressure on Cameron Munster, Kennedy just couldn't hold on to the ball.
29 minutes to go. Winner to the grand final. Losers' season is over. Both of these teams played preliminary finals last year. Melbourne won theirs, only to be beaten in the big one. The Sharks, well, they got knocked out in the penultimate game by the 4-time reigning champs, the Panthers, who play the other preliminary final against Brisbane in Brisbane on Sunday. The Aeros got the ball, middle of the park here for the Storm. Still a couple of plays left in this set for Melbourne. Slowish play the ball by this game's standards. Grant's popped it up there to Munster, and slower play the ball and Munster's nail. Yeah. So that just not the pace of play the ball for Cam Munster, who's had a big running game so far tonight. Now Pappenhausen has a go, just to the right of Harry Grant, but he's wrapped up and driven back. Pass comes loose out the back. I think it was intended, it was messy. Kamikamitha picks it up and gallops 10 metres downfield. Tackled 25 out. Last call by ref Klein. Blindside for the Storm. It's given to Hughes. Runs infield, beats a couple, floats a pass to Munster. Now Munster Coates. He goes for the wing with the kick. It bounces in the in-goal area and is seen dead by Ramian. The Munster-Coates combination coming in there was the 25-metre kick across field, but it just wasn't as well directed as Air Coates would have liked. Goal line drop out Cronulla.
No, he absolutely muffed that kick, Cameron Munster, but it worked out well for him. He got the favourable bounce. If he had a bit more height on it, would have given Coates time to get there. But, yeah, Cronulla are under pressure here.
They have been amazing at soaking up pressure in this game. Trindle, a high 20-metre restart, which bounces favourably for Warbrick of Melbourne. And he fields it, sort of pitched in a group of players there. So Storm will once again go on the attack. Warbrick tackled about 20 metres out. One man infield goes Eli Katoa. Doesn't from the goal line when tackled. Harry Grant's got options either side. The skipper looks left, feeds it that way to Munster. Holds it, gives it to Pappenhausen. Holds it, gives it on to Howarth. Great defence. Howarth near the touchline, chucked it back in field. Pappenhausen has to clean up and does, but he's tackled. Again, composure on the defensive right there from the Sharks. Pappenhausen tackled 10 metres out. Pass comes infield to Munster. Pops it up for Lasati. Adavalu Lasati's out there. The young man is taken. 10 metres out. 10 to the left of the uprights. Open side right. Grant has a run. Then gives a pass to Hughes, who got nailed by Trindle. Ball kept alive to the right edge. Picked up by Warbrick. 10 metres out. Beats a tackle. Loses the ball in a tackle from behind by the Sharks defender in Fanua Blake. Now, what's Ref Klein going to say here? There'll be something in this.
Yeah. Bucky.
The crowd seen Trindle crash into Hughes.
Captain's challenge from Storm. On-field decision was a knock-on. Reviewing any contact that is illegal on Jerome Hughes.
Well, Trindle left his feet and hit Jerome Hughes in the head, and Jerome Hughes got a lot of claret coming out of the mouth, so I don't see, he might be in a bit of trouble here, Trindle.
Well, it was a solid hit.
But he leaves his feet. As soon as you leave your feet to make a tackle.
His arm was in the motion of trying to complete a tackle. It's not black and white, this one.
But he hit him in the head. It's over.
Chris Butler in the bunker. Oh, this is such a 50-50 call. Trindle's Hughes.
There is high contact. The majority of the force is through the body, but there is high contact, which is a penalty. The captain's challenge will be successful.
So that's a penalty in front of the sticks.
With the margin at 8. So
decisions for the Storm here.
Penalty.
That was a final. It's a final. I get that. To them.
Cam Munster's arguing the toss. He wanted Trindle to go to the bin.
There, look.
It's not a penalty.
He hit him high. Penalty sufficient.
And now Jerome Hughes is having a say.
Okay? So what are you guys going to do? What do you want to do, Hev?
Well, both Munster and Hughes,
Pickley, come on.
neither who are the captain, shouldn't be able to talk to the referee there. Ash Klein should say, what are you doing? Let's get on with it. To be honest, they've just overstepped the line there, those two experienced players, and Ash Klein should have given them a gobful for it. Only Harry Grant's allowed to do that. Anyway, they take the tap and go. Uda Ikamanu is tackled only 10 metres out. Grant passes to the left. Munster dummies, straightens, runs into the defence. There are 3 to put him down. Between the left wing and the uprights, Melbourne leads 16-8. 5 metres from the Cronulla goal line. Grant passes infield to Liero. Given to Hughes. Pops it up to Eli Katoa. Runs into the defence, led by Trindle, who's pantomime villain number 1 here at the moment. Tackle made 10 metres out. Grant passes left to Hughes. Holds it. Gives it on to Udo Ikamanu. Tackled 7 metres out in centre park. This Sharks defence still holding up. Lasati a charge. Great tackle. Colquhoun next to the post. Play 2 metres out. Grant to the left. The pass goes along the deck. And it's knocked on by Howarth. Knocked on by Howarth. Right near the Sharks supporters. Down in that south corner of the ground. They're outnumbered, but what a moment for Cronulla in this final to keep their line intact.
Yeah, big call there by Sione Katoa. Came rushing out of the line to make it hard for Howarth to pick up the ball. Look, Jerome Hughes was under pressure, so he just let the ball go past him. And great work by Katoa, putting pressure on Howarth.
Oh, Ian Cohen on the touchline. It's almost frothing over down there.
I didn't think the temperature could rise anymore, but apparently it has. It's sauna-like down here, and the Storm fans are up and off their plastic. Everyone is standing. People wanted 10 minutes. Cronulla fans were jubilant with that.
15 minutes played second half, and it's still the half-time scoreline stands here of Melbourne 16, leading Cronulla Sutherland 8. This pulsating preliminary final on ABC Sport. Colquhoun with the ball there for Cronulla. They're still deep inside their own half. He plays it just short of the 30 to Brayley. and given on to Whenua Blake. Big Adam Whenua Blake, a dozen from halfway when stopped, but he bounces up and plays it quickly. Brayley gives the pass to Kennedy, runs it right, gives the pass to Hines, pass on to Ero, tries to get through Howard. Howard makes the tackle. In fact, it's Ramian and Howard. That was Nickera, my apologies. Tackled on halfway. End of the set. Hines with a bomb downfield. Oh, Meany and Warbrick almost collide. Pappenhausen. My apologies. Pappenhausen and Warbrick almost collide. But Pappenhausen catches it 22 metres from his own line.
Boy, that was dangerous. Obviously, no communication between the back two, which has happened a couple of times between these two.
Yeah, and I mentioned Freudian slip there. Nick Mooney, of course, playing a lot of fullback this year for the Storm, but now it's Paps there tonight, and he just got there before Warbrick. As now Liero plays it, doesn't play it properly. It's a ball plan. Incorrect play the ball from the Storm. Look, they still might not get to next Sunday, the Sharks, but many a footy team has wilted under the 30 minutes of footy that the Storm has just put on this lot, and the Sharks still hold a fingernail in this final, Hoffy.
Yeah, their fringes have been terrific. They really have. They've scrambled, they've moved, their halves, their centres, their wingers, they're working with each other really well. For Melbourne Storm to penetrate, they need to go back to what they were doing well in the first half, and that's hitting the middle, quick play the balls, Pappenhausen and Munster attacking that line.
So Sharks with a scrum win, immediately shift it right for Sione Katoa. No great running room for him, though. He's 42 metres out, 10 in from touch on the right as he's tackled. 16-8 Melbourne in front. Nickera's got the ball, a bit flat-footed there. Hines was distributor and they were a bit unorganised. Nickera tackled 35 from the goal line. Now to left and centre field for Whenua Blake. Puts it under his left wing. Takes three tacklers to deck. Sharks 28 metres out as he plays the ball to Brayley. Given to the right through Culhoon onto Hines. Swung in the tackle and no running room for Nico there. He'll play it here for the Sharks, 22 metres out. Bradley passes left for Trindle. He runs through a gap. Liero lost his feet, but Uda Wigamanu saves the day with a tackle. Quick play the ball as the laugh. Brayley to the left. Hines onto Nickera. Nickera's got two around him. Pappenhausen and Munster, I think, have combined to hold him up. When Nickera was via Sestina rods to score.
Oh, that is unbelievable. Pappenhausen, Munster. They had no right. He hit that ball like an absolute freight train. Nickera, media out from the line. Ball and all tackle. One fullback, one former fullback.
So it's up to Chris Butler in the bunker to check this out. Nickera and Munster.
There is high contact from Ryan. We'll be playing on, supporting the on-foot decision of a penalty.
It's going to be a penalty to the Sharks.
For a head-high tackle.
Little high from Pappenhausen. And now they're just...
Ball's up at this point.
Making sure it's not a try. So, yeah, there's no way it was a try.
Ball always remains up. We have a decision.
Oh, and I'm seeing from the Sharks bench, they're going to go for the penalty goal.
They want the two.
So this will be a penalty to the Sharks on the high contact from Pappenhausen. And...
high contact or not, that was a hell of a tackle.
Yeah. Penalty goes to the Sharks, and they're going to take the penalty goal from just to the right of the uprights, which would make the margin a converted try. 22 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, interesting call. They haven't spent a lot of time down here, Cronulla, so I understand what they're thinking. Get the points while we've got it. We've still got over 20 minutes to play. There's plenty of football left in this game. We'll get more opportunities, but let's take the points while we can.
Well, he hasn't been given an easier opportunity all night. Nico Hines missing his two previous kicks. Both conversions were hard out on the right. He'll get the hoots of the fans that used to cheer his name here in Melbourne, Nico Hines. But as a Shark, he's become a superstar of the competition, a Dally M winner. And here he is, knocking over the 2 points for Cronulla Sutherland in this preliminary final. There's only 6 points the difference. The first points of the second half come 18 minutes in. We've got 21 minutes to play, and it's Melbourne 16 leading Cronulla Sutherland 10. My name's Quentin Harlem alongside Premiership winner Ryan Hoffman. Ian Cohen's down on the touchline. It's finals footy on ABC Sport, and through almost an hour, Hoppy, it's been one hell of a final to this point.
Yeah, it's been an absolute cracking game, and both teams have contributed to a great attack by the Storm, unbelievable defence by Cronulla, and we've still got 20 minutes to go. There's still a quarter of this game to go, so there are still a lot of twists and turns to come.
Storm with a restart. Meaney, the wobbling deep kick is caught by Kennedy on the goal line, and he gives it on to Hamlin Uele. First carry gets a dozen into the field of play for the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks, who haven't been in a grand final since they beat Melbourne for their first ever title back in 2016. Run up to the 20 from Hero. Now Colquhoun, right side of the ruck. Jesse Colquhoun with a gain of 8 metres. Plays it right edge to Brayley. Passes left and centre field for Kennedy. Bounces out of one. Then there's a high tackle there from Eli Katoa. Penalty goes to the Sharks. And a cheap trip downfield for Cronulla on the errant right arm there of Eliesa Katoa.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 other head highs you see in rugby league these days. Whether or not it hits the head, we're not sure, but penalty, decision made. Interesting. I reckon we're getting close to Tyron Wishart time. Get some tired forwards. Might be an interesting time for Craig Bellamy to put him on.
Ian on the touchline.
There's been a lot of HIAs happening down here, and in actual fact, Tui Kamakamitha is being checked at the moment, but Oregon Kaufusi has failed. He won't be back into the contest.
So out with HIA for Kaufusi. That position seems to be a bit of a swinging door in that regard, with Hazelton out in that vein last week, which made the room for Kaufusi to return to the team anyway. Sharks are on the attack off the penalty. Fanua Blake plays it 30 out now to the left. Trindle. He pops it for the infield run of Hero. Bounces away from Grant. He bounces away from Lasati before being wrapped up in the tackle of Uto Ikamanu. And the Sharks are 21 metres from the Melbourne line, trailing by 6. Brayley to the right. Hines gives it to Kennedy. Out to the right edge for Ramian. Puts the fend on Howarth, but Howarth brings him down. Sharks are 10 metres out, 5 in from touch on the right. Ball played to Kennedy. Pass, and Hines has dropped it. Absolute put drop, and the Storm come in to tell him about it. Referee has to come in to ensure it doesn't flare up. But Nicho Hines has just cold dropped that football 10 metres from the Storm line.
Yeah, disappointing for Nicho Hines and the Sharks, because they look like they're building something on their left edge. I saw their left edge there with Teague Wilton and Mulatalo and Kaoliro talking about what they want to do. So, missed opportunity there for the Sharks.
18 and a half minutes left. Melbourne 16, Cronulla Sutherland 10. Oh, scrum had broken, but the referee didn't like it, so I'll have to go again. Huge crowd in on what's a gorgeous Friday night. Public holiday Friday in Melbourne. It's been like that for a few years now, the day before the AFL Grand Final. What a sporting hub it is here in the Victorian capital. Warbrick's got it. And don't they love their Storm? They are just used to them being at this end of the season and contending. The most consistent of top flight sporting teams in the country, the Storm, looking for another grand final. They lead by 6. King's got the ball. He's still well inside his own half. That's Josh King for Melbourne on the 30. And there was an extra hand on the ball in the play the ball. Penalty goes to Melbourne. So this gives the Storm a kick downfield and a chance to take up residence at the attacking end.
So it looks to me that we're just picking up from where we were in the first half. Just teams piggybacking the opposition out of their own half. For the Melbourne Storm was their head-high tackle from Eli Katoa. That time there, Billy Burns just had his hand on the ball way too long.
And now this is where, again, we expect the Storm to go to work. Kick finds touch near the 40. Tap and go from Meaney. And the first carry, well, he's pushed back a couple of metres in the end. Meaney to play at 38 metres from the Sharks line. 16-10 in favour of Melbourne. Hughes passes to left and centre field. Uto Ikamanu down Main Street. Meets the defence. There are 3 Sharks to grass him. 33 from the Cronulla line. Played to Grant. Pass right for Hughes. Given to Munster. Men in motion on the right. He runs it himself and Wilton makes the tackle. Good tackle from Teague Wilton on Cam Munster. Right edge and 20 metres out. 20 in from touch on the right. Played to Grant. Given centre field to Hughes. Dummies and straightens, but no way through the tackle of Colquhoun. Closes the door. Hughes to play at centre park and 15 metres from the Sharks line. Grant runs out a dummy half. Looks at the markers. Then passes right. Munster gives it on to Meaney. He has a go show himself, Meany, but he's taken down by Eero and Kennedy. A couple of metres short of the line. Last play, Melbourne out on the right. Shifted left and centre field, long past to Munster. Then given to Hughes. Hughes bombs for the in-goal area. Brilliant leap and catch from Sione Katoa to defuse the bomb, and he's into the field of play as well. What a catch from the Sharks winger. He scored 2 tries. That's a huge play. He's taken the air out of Coates there, and the Sharks survive, and they run it up to within 15 of their own line. Play 2, Muller-Taylor.
Yeah, great play, Katoa, because Xavier Coates actually came in 30 metres off the sideline, and they were purposely kicking to put it on the 3-in's head. But Sione Katoa did a great work, followed his opposite number, and managed to get up and take the ball.
Britton Nickera now with a dangerous offload. Oh, it's gone out the back, taken by Howarth, who's tackled. And the referee says it's a knock-on from Jack Howarth. That was a loose pass from Kennedy.
I reckon we've got a challenge here because Jack Howarth is saying he didn't touch it.
Harry Grant immediately comes in wanting to challenge.
Melbourne, disputing the decision of a knock-on. If play continues, Melbourne take possession and get tackled there for tackle 1.
16 points to 10 is the scoreline in favour of the Storm.
Jack Howarth got up straight away to play the ball, so he definitely doesn't think he touches it. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ryan. This looks like a good challenge from Harry Grant. Chris Butler in the bunker.
This is the big call with 15 minutes to go.
There's no touch of the hand. The ball doesn't change rotation. Playing on at this point.
If anything, and Munster's pumping up the crowd out there, Coase.
Challenge will be successfully tackled 1 for mutual infringement.
Jack will play the ball.
Yeah, it's amazing down here. You can really feel it, and the Storm fans are up, and certainly in chorus at the moment. Cam is pumping them.
He's waving their hands to those fans on the eastern side. So Melbourne off that successful challenge, get to attack the Cronulla line from 10 metres out. Here's Munster, receives the pass and pops it up for Udo Ikamanu. He's going to be wrestled and stopped 9 metres from the goal line. Played to Grant, given to the right for Munster. On to Hughes, feeds Eli Katoa on the infield line. Great tackle around the thighs from Wilton. Oh, and then there was a 2-on-1 strip. Penalty goes to Melbourne. It was Trindle, I think, was it? I was too busy looking at how good Wilton's tackle was around the ankles.
Yeah, it was
and they're going for 2, the Storm.
Yeah, they have to, the Melbourne Storm. Trindle went for the 1-on-1 strip, but he was just a bit late on it. It was an all-or-nothing play by Trindle.
15 minutes left in the game, and from the penalty, Nick Meaney's going to have a shot, the goal, and clearly we now see, I was watching Trindle around the bootlaces, classic style, and he was still hanging on as Trindle reefed the ball out, clear 2-on-1 strip. And importantly for the Storm, this gives Nick Meaney a chance to push the margin beyond a converted try. We've only seen 2 points scored so far in this second half. Storm led 16-8 at half-time. It took 18 minutes before Nico Hines kicked a penalty goal for the Sharks. And now the Storm looking to reply in kind.
It's interesting to note what the effect of Oregon Kafusi being ruled out with the HIA actually does for the Cronulla rotation, because they could use him giving Adam Fanua break a rest or Talakai a rest so they could come on for the last 5 minutes.
Nick Meaney, he's 18 metres in from touch, 16 metres out, kicks the penalty goal for Melbourne. 3 from 4 on the night for Nick Meaney, and the Storm back out by 8, as was the case at half-time. Melbourne 18, lead Cronulla Sutherland 10. That timepiece ticking away. 13 minutes and 47, 46. Tick, tick, tick. Winner goes to Stadium Australia for next week's grand final, and the loser is done for 2025.
But we've seen in other games this final series what can happen in the last 13 minutes. So Cronulla know they're right in this game up to their eyeballs. They just need to play a bit more footy down the Melbourne Storm end.
I get the sense, imperative for Cronulla that they score next. Hoffy.
Yes.
Brayley with the kick-off caught by Hughes. And again, Uta Ikamanu, who's done a huge job tonight, runs it back, and he's tackled a dozen from the Slater stand and the northern end here in Melbourne. Given on to Kamikamitha. Big Tui with those legs pumping. He's short of the 20, Kamikamitha. Plays it there to Grant, passes left and blind side for Lasati. Atavalu Lasati New Stormer from the Penrith system, tackled out in the left edge, about 25 from his own line. One man infield to King. Great read defensively from, it was Calhoun, was it? Coming off, yep, Calhoun in his face makes the tackle. Grant tries to go through Fanua Blake at marker, and Adden says, no way, mate. Stops him. Not a great gain on this set for Melbourne. They're only 35 from their own line. So Hughes pumps the ball for territory downfield. Big, deep right-footed drop punt. Caught on the 10 by Kennedy for the Sharks, and the kick return almost up to the 30. Great kick at the end of a pretty inept set, and the Sharks start theirs now, 30 from their own line.
Yeah, there's a lot of Cronulla forwards walking back, just all their middle forwards too, so losing someone out of their rotation will affect it, as Tyron Wishart looks like he's about to come on the field.
Sharks shift right. Hines gives it on to Sione Katoa. 2 tries in the first half, but tackled there in the shifting defence by Howarth on the left edge for Melbourne. Hines passes back in field. No way through though on the run in field for the Sharks from Ramian. Plays it there to Brayley. Give it on to Fanua Blake. Stands with the couple around him. Fanua Blake, he's 45 metres from Melbourne's line. Last play of the set coming up here for the Sharks. Brayley passes left for Trindle. Trindle from 40 out, puts up a bomb. Warbrick underneath it. Warbrick leaps and catches it despite the attention of Mulatalo. Great diffusion of the bomb. And the Storm start this set. A dozen from their own line. 11 and a half minutes to go. Melbourne 18, Cronulla, Sutherland 10, Quentin Hull, Ryan Hoffman and Ann Cohen bringing it to you. Finals footy on ABC Sport.
Massive, massive play by Will Warbrick. He was under a lot of pressure, but when his team needed to, he stood up and took the catch. That's his job. That's what his team needs.
Kamikamitha is taken down. Still midway goal line and halfway. Deep inside their own half, the Storm. Utuika Manu, he pushes off Brayley, but immediately Trindle and Fanua Blake are there to tackle him. Melbourne on their 30, end of the set. They're not making as much ground out of their own territory now. And again, Hughes has to boot it downfield, but it's a good kick. Taken by Kennedy, the Sharks fullback on the 20. Runs back up to the 30, passes to Katoa. Katoa has a run up to halfway, puts on the Jets, and gets eventually tackled out there by Coates on the defensive left. What a kick return. The Sharks now on play 2 on the infield run. 38 metres from the Melbourne line. Nickera with the most recent carry. Now to left and centre field. Into the hands of Trindle, left edge. Given on to Ero. Steps infield, can't beat Meaney, who's got help from Hughes to complete the tackle. 10 minutes to go. Melbourne lead by 8. Sharks on the attack. Trindle centre field. Pops it up for the straightener from Sifa Talakai. And the big fella's put on the deck. Centre field and 15 out. Brayley with options either side. Passes right for Calhoun. Gives it on to Fanua Blake. He's got 3 and 4 around him. Oh, those tree trunk thighs carried to within a metre of the line.
He lost it.
And he has lost the ball. Well, that's the original call. Captain's challenge coming up. Let's tune into ref line.
Disputing the decision of a lost ball they believe is stripped.
Well, there were 4 in the tackle.
You got to challenge it at this stage. You got
to take the odds on that with 4 in the tackle, Hoppy. Ball under the right wing, and Utuika Manu is the man.
You got to see a stripping action.
Who sort of immediately can see his hands around the ball.
Locked around the ball, affecting a tackle.
I think it just slides out.
And we're not getting a definitive replay at the moment. There's a couple of players sort of blurring the line of sight between the camera and the ball. Big play this, 9 minutes 50 seconds left. Cronulla. Well,
at no point does Stefano move from affecting a tackle.
Challenge
Adam's
burn.
hand then comes off the ball, makes contact with Melbourne, which is a knock-on. The captain's challenge is successful.
Unsuccessful, yeah. Chris Butler correcting himself. Unsuccessful. Challenge burnt. Knock on Sharks. Storm scrum feed. 18-10 in front, 9:50 to go.
Yeah, look, I like the call by Cronulla. You've got to sort of challenge it right there because they were backpedaling the Melbourne Storm. Great counter-attack on a poor attacking set from Melbourne and then not a deep kick. Cronulla still have a lot of running in this game. We'll tell them before they might be getting tired. They seem to be getting faster.
So everyone just taking a moment before this scrum. Storm win it. Warbrick, one man to the right. No great gain at all. Tackled immediately. And Melbourne 11 metres from their own line. leading by 8. Oh, there was a bobble there from Eliesa Katoa, nearly knocked it on. Didn't, though, and plays it now 15 out. Grant gives it on to Liero. Can't get past the 20-metre line. Sharks swarming in the fence there with Brayley and Hamlin-Uele. Now Grant gives it on to Wishart. There he is, your man. Coming into the game really late, Tyron Wishart. He'll play it here, still only midway goal line and halfway. Grant decides to pinch a very valuable 8-9 metres out of dummy half. Last play, Melbourne, 16 inside their own territory. Hughes will once again have to kick deep at the end of the set. It's caught about 25 from the goal line out there by Katoa. That's Sione, who's had a huge game for the Sharks, and he's tackled about a dozen from halfway. 9 minutes left in the game. 8 is the lead to Melbourne. Wilton on the carry, straight into the defence. Sharks 6 inside their own half as Wilton plays the ball there to Kennedy. Passes left onto Mulatalo. Charges into Hughes and Meaney. They put him down on the NRL logo. Couple of metres attacking side of halfway for the Sharks. Brayley right and infield to Trindle, running laterally. Second man to the right for Hines. Gives it on to Ramian, who's wrapped up by Munster and pushed back by the helping brigade led by Howard. Tackle made. Sharks ball just beyond halfway out in the right. Couple of passes to centre field. Hamlin-Uele takes the tackle. That's 5. He's 45 out. Last play here for the Sharks. Trindle gets it. Miss hits a Torpy with a kick, which it bounces awkwardly for Pappenhausen. Warbrick cleans it up near the goal line. Steps through the tackle of Kennedy. Can't get past the third line of defence. He got through Hines, but the third man there makes the tackle. It's Nikora. Storm a 10 from their own line. 8 to go. Hoffy, Melbourne leading 18-10.
Yeah, the Melbourne Storm, the last 3 sets, have sort of gone into their shells. Very one-out running, not really challenging the Cronulla Sharks defence. Cronulla, on the other hand, they're playing football. They're spreading the ball wide. Melbourne Storm just can't be waiting for full time. They need to keep attacking the game.
Wishart on a run and taking 12 from halfway. Yeah, just the last couple of sets and those huge kicks, they've been pitching shorter and shorter and shorter each time. Better field position this time, though. 5 called on a Pappenhausen run right in the middle of the park. So this time Hughes can be afforded the bomb at the end of the set. Kennedy, 20 from his own line, catches it for the Sharks. 20 in from touch on the left, 20 from the southern end. 7 minutes left in the game. By the set, the Storm get closer to another grand final. 7 minutes to survive, 8 points the lead to Melbourne. As now Ero puts on a little step to try and get something going for the Sharks, but he's tackled on his own 30 by Grant. Ball played to Brayley. Off left shoulder, gives it to Mulatalo. He accelerates into the defence and has taken 8 from halfway. Played to Brayley, out of dummy half, gives it on to Hamlin-Uele. Into attacking territory, but 3 Storm defenders around him. Last play, Cronulla, 45 metres from the Melbourne line. Trindle, good purchase on the bomb this time. Pappenhausen catches it and is tackled 12 metres from his own line on the chase from Mulatalo.
Yeah, the Cronulla Sharks, they're finding gaps, they're getting arm tackles and getting quicker play the balls. Starting to see some more subs there from the Melbourne Storm. They're on the back foot here.
Now Coates has a run coming in from his wing to try and get something going. Or thought of an offload on his own 30. I don't know whether that's the play, leading by 8 with 6 minutes to go. He decides to take the tackle. Meaney has a one-out run and he's taken down Nick Meaney. He'll play the ball here, 15 from halfway. Now Munster, whose running game hasn't been as prolific in the second half, tackled 5 from halfway. Last play, Melbourne. Grant sees no marker, so has a run, then passes left through the hands of Bloor, out to Howarth, to the 20, to the 10, passes to Coates. Coates is over in the corner, and Melbourne are off to the grand final yet again. Harry Grant saw the weakening, the tiring Sharks defence. Eyes up footy, off he goes, and Xavier Coates finishes it off. And the Storm are headed for Stadium Australia once more for the final Sunday of the season.
Cronulla's defence all went to Jerome Hughes, thinking it's going to be cut and paste, a high bomb through the middle. Harry Grant plays what's in front of him, goes straight down, puts the Cronulla defence in 6s and 7s. Great hands by Bloor. Then Jack Howarth did unbelievably well here, summed it up, held the ball in 2 hands and set up Xavier Coates, who just dives and scores and sends Melbourne to next Sunday.
Ian Cohen down on the touchline.
It was typical Xavier Coates, peak Xavier Coates. Pretty much his whole body was actually outside the line, but the ball wasn't, his hand wasn't, and he put it down there. I'm going to send some pickle juice up to the commentary box shortly because I reckon you might need some, Q. There's plenty out there at the moment. There's players cramping all over the place. It is going to be a real attrition for the last 5 minutes, but Storm absolutely in the box seat, and 29,233 people in the Purple House tonight.
29,233. Thanks, Ian. Harry Grant. Again, just sums up the moment. He had some helpers.
Yeah, he did. It's an easy decision would be to pass the ball, but no, footy players play what's in front of them. That's exactly what he did.
And Meaney will try and convert from out on the left wing touchline, 25 metres out, right foot strike across the face and no goal. So the score remains Melbourne 22, Cronulla 10, and there's only 4 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game. Amazing. Craig Bellamy, 23 seasons in charge. Sure, you can, I mean, the history books are blurred, but of 23 seasons in charge, it will be an 11th grand final.
That's amazing.
An 11th grand final in 23 seasons in charge, Craig Bellamy. Extraordinary. Of course, that period I speak of when the records were stripped and blurred during that salary cap period, but it had, I mean, yeah, it's a longer conversation, but
they happened. It was they
happened. They got there. That's right. You were there, Hoffy. So I say it with all sensitivity of what history says, but at the same time, it's hard to just blank those out of the body of work of what this coach has done during his time at this footy club. So Grant's got the ball and off the restart, a Munster, should I say. They're back in the attacking end of the field. Grant at dummy half gives it off to Wishart. Wishart stepping in field and he's held up and he's going to be put to turf 25 metres out. And of course the most recent of those was last year. They got to the final last year and were beaten by the Panthers. Hughes with a shallow bomb at the end of the set. Warbrick catches it, but it's easy pickings for Ero, and the handover will take place. And the Sharks will have the ball 15 from their own line. And, yep, 9 years on since their only premiership, the Sharks, they're still to return to the grand final, having been knocked out in the last two preliminary finals by Melbourne tonight and Penrith last year. There's still 3 minutes to get through. Hines has got the ball for Cronulla, gives it to Ramian, who keeps on trying, takes a tackle, offloads to Hines, tries to bump his way through. If they can score here, there's still something. Margin is 12, 2.5 to go. It's not quite beyond miracle territory, but they've got to score in the next 40 seconds, you'd reckon. Here's Kennedy passing it to the left edge. Mulatalo with a shimmy and a shake, but Hughes makes the tackle. He'll be taking that left forearm mattress like Mal Meninga and Shane Webke to the big games at the end of the season to the right. Hines gives the pass on to Nickera, and Nickera's held up, coming in, finished off by Eli Katoa. Sharks to play it on the last, out on the right edge, 45 metres out. Trendle with a high floating bomb. Warbrick catches well. Had to readjust his feet to a dipping ball, and he catches it 15 from his own line. And that, I think, is the Sharks' last gasp, Hoffy. They've been valiant, but the Storm have just come up trumps again, with now Pappenhausen tackled 20 from his own line.
It's been a great effort by Cronulla, it really has been, but once again, it's that week off in the middle of the finals. Cronulla having to get themselves up for a third sudden death game. It's such a hard thing to do, both physically but mostly emotionally. Get yourself up emotionally for these sudden death games. They've tried hard though.
90 seconds left in the game and left in Cronulla's season. Munster, who was so influential in the first half, he's up on halfway, plays the ball. Hughes has got through the game, and that kick downfield, here's another high one from Hughes, caught by Sione Katoa. He hits the defence. He's eventually going to be taken out there by Sean Bloor.
Jerome Hughes coming off for a rest for the last minute.
Put him in cotton wool for 65 seconds.
They've got a big thing of bubble wrap, they're just wrapping him in.
Well, he's got through 80 minutes of football for the first time in 2 months, having gone through shoulder and arm injuries. Left side shift from the Sharks. Give it to Mulatalo. Passes to the edge for Ero. Up to halfway before being tackled. Good defence shifting there from McDonald and from Warbrick. Pass to right in centre field. Trindle gives it on to Hines. Hines runs back against the grain. Pass to Kennedy. Great tackle from Warbrick. And he's put down 40 metres from the Melbourne line. 30 seconds left in the game. Brayley blindside left. Hines' pass is knocked over the touchline by Eli Katoa. He was just making sure he got in the way there. And there won't be much of a chance to get play away. 17-16. The timepiece is counting down. Referee Klein does say, yep, time off. 13 seconds left. The Sharks do get one last roll. But it will be all for pride alone. Ball given to Hines. Shaped a kick. Got rushed at. Decides to run it. Gives it on to Brayley. Now to Hamlin Uele, who pushes away from Wishart. He's running in the middle of the field. Passes there to Hines. Time expires. Play still alive. Hines gives the pass to Fanua Blake. Passes on to Burns. Great pass to the edge. And is that a try? It might be. Yes, it is. Right at the death, Cronulla have come up with a try to KL Ero, which means little bar the scoreline. Melbourne is through to the grand final. Another grand final for the Storm. KL Ero's gone over in the corner in the last play of the game. 22-14, and there's a kick to come, which seems as a mere footnote on what's been a bruising, exhausting preliminary final. And the Storm are there again, Hoffy.
They certainly are. I tell you what, I've never seen a try less celebrated than the poor old Cronulla Sharks. They fought all the way, right to the 80th minute, which is a fantastic effort by them. But look, it was all in vain at the end. The Melbourne Storm, they were the second best team all year on the ladder. They're the first ones through to the grand final. And what an amazing team that thoroughly deserved their victory.
Now, I'm still waiting to get correct weight on this scoreline because
they declined the kick. They declined the kick.
Okay. So the try does stand. Kick not required. End of game. Storm 22. Sharks 14. Well, stay close. Ian Cole will have all the reaction from the touchline. We'd love to hear from you. The SMS line is up and running. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. The number to get in touch is 0467 920 222. 0467 920 222. Well, Ryan Hoffman, the winning and the losing of it, what comes to the top of your mind?
Look. Firstly, you've got to give Cronulla a rap for their season. You really do, to get themselves into a prelim off the back of belief. But look, the first thing that comes to my mind is a coach of Craig Bellamy's status, just to be able to get his team up. It doesn't matter how the game's being played, what players he has, he gets his teams to grand finals. And his legacy on the game is going to be that, getting teams to prelims, getting teams to grand finals.
So if you want to, in this discombobulated sort of history of the Storm, you go post-salary cap scandal, we've had 15 seasons. That's now 7 grand finals in 15 seasons since 2010.
Yeah, well, that record speaks for itself, really, doesn't it?
Yep. 3 premierships in that time.
Yep.
It's an exceptionally consistent footy club that has been. I'll hold on that thought. Let's get down to Ian Cohen.
Yeah, Blake Bailey's been kind enough to join us. Just talk to us about the emotion. It's been cutthroat all the way for you for nearly a month, and now coming up against Storm.
Yeah, that's tough to come to terms with there. We have a lot of momentum. We've been travelling so well, and I feel like we've been working so hard, and just kind of add more fuel to the fire, that's for sure.
The form team coming in, nothing to fear coming down here. The start was red hot. Take us through that first 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, they obviously got a few tries. We didn't play our best footy. We didn't, complete well. We had some, penalties out of their backfield, and they invited them into our try, and they took it. And yeah, tough one tonight. Good side. I'm taking nothing away from the Storm, but yeah, it's going to be hard to watch next week. We're not in it, yeah.
What's the feeling? You've had a quick chance to be able to talk to a few of the boys. What's the feeling?
Yeah, everyone's disappointed. We had full confidence in our team, and we had a lot of belief that we would win tonight and go on a run and, shake up the competition in the grand final, but wasn't to be. Still super proud of the year we've had. No one gave us a chance, and we still, turned up to Melbourne, game of red hot crack, and lost by 8 points. And it's going to be a long few days, long off season, so it's going to be tough.
Appreciate your time, Blake.
No, thank you.
We'll stay close, Ian. 22 points to 14. Melbourne has defeated Cronulla, Sutherland. Warbrick, Hughes, Pappenhausen and Coates, the try scorers. Meaney kicked 3 goals from 5 attempts. So he did kick 2 from 4 from the conversions and 1 from 1 penalty goal. So 3 from 5 for Meaney, all up with the boot. For the Sharks, Sione Katoa with 2 first half tries, and then that try at the death to KL Ero. Nico Hines missing 2 conversions, not opting to take the third, but he did kick a penalty goal. So he kicked 1 from 3 on the night. 16-8 at halftime to Melbourne, 22-14 at the end. And let's get back down to Koza.
Well, the man that's got the mattress on the left arm at the moment, Jerome Hughes, he's got blood coming out of the lip as well. Talk to us about the first 80 minutes you've played in a fair period of time.
It was good. Obviously, got a good win against a quality side, and I thought the boys played really well. So, to the grand final we go, I guess, and we're going to have to lift our game there.
What does that mean to you to be in another Storm grand final?
Oh, it means the world, mate. That's why we play the game, to hopefully win premierships, and we've given ourselves the best chance by making it to the grand final. But I guess we need to go one better than we did last year, and hopefully we can bring a good performance next week. There's been so much speculation about whether you would or wouldn't play. Tell us about what is on the arm. Tell us about the surgery and what you had to do to recover. I mean, you had something strapped to your arm that was, putting electricity through it, or you've been doing everything. What have you been doing? Credit to our, my surgeon and our medical team, mate. They, I thought I was gone for the year, but they gave me a slight chance, and if I was able to tick the boxes, I was able to play, and thankfully enough, I was able to tick the boxes. So, happy to be here. How does the arm feel right now? No, it feels good, mate. It feels good. Obviously, I was hiding a bit on the wing there, and there was a lot of talk about what's going to happen around me or whatever, but that's stuff I can't control, and our team can't control. So I thought the boys done a great job of letting that distraction go. But we got a chat here, so he's had to leave me because they're getting in a big team photo. But I can tell you that mattress is very big, Q, and the smile is also very big, even though the lip is rather large. Well, it's getting bigger as well by the sounds of it. Ian Cohen right among the heat of the celebrations for the Melbourne Storm and commiserations for the Sharks. Melbourne through. They'll play the winner of Sunday's game between Brisbane and Penrith. Storm 22, Sharks 14. 0467 920 222 is the number to get in touch. 0467 920 222. Please send us your name and where you are texting from, and we'll stay close to Ian and get some more reaction once the Storm break up there. Harry Grant's sort of leading things down there as well. Ryan Pappenhausen's return tonight. He looked okay, and Cameron Munster's running game in the first half.
Cameron Munster grabbed the game with 2 pairs of hands and just took it by the scruff of the neck. He was tremendous. He started with his running game. He knows what his strength is. Craig Bellamy would have gone to him, "What's your strength?" And he goes, "My running game." He says, "Well, do that." Craig Bellamy says, "Keep the main thing. Cameron Munster's a great runner," so that's what he wanted him to do. Speaking of which,
let's get down to Ian.
Ryan Hoffman's just been upstairs talking about your running game. That was the plan coming in, use the legs and get it going. Who, me? Yeah. Hoffy's all over you. He's saying that your running game was help break it open.
Look, it's a team game. Sometimes those games eventuate and you're able to run the ball and be able to create space and stuff. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I didn't come out here tonight thinking I was going to run the ball 15, 20 times. The game just eventuated and gave myself a time to do that. Like, some games you stop for start and you just not going to get yourself in the game. So tonight it ended up working out well. It might not work out like that next week, So we've had a couple of dogfight games and we're ready for whoever comes us next week.
One of the plans, though, was to look after your 7 and get him out on the perimeter. Obviously, he got through 80 minutes, which is absolutely brilliant, your combination.
Yeah, we obviously still want to build on our game. We haven't played a whole heap, I think, since round 17, so we've got a good week now to go and get into it. I would have liked to have the rest. I'm about 4 months older than Hughesy, so it would have been nice to have a bit of time off, but yeah, look, it's good to see our little general come out unscathed and get him right for next week.
How important is it, seriously, to have Jerome, obviously, as a part of it now?
Oh, he's a class player. He didn't win the Dally M for no reason, so he's one of the, up there with Nathan Cleary, is one of the best halves in the game. So, but we got a good young kid named Jonah Peasant too, so we've got great depth in our halves, and whoever got the opportunity to get the job done tonight, Hughesy's Hughesy. You need him in your team, and this guy, he's come out.
What about the fact that you've now almost got 48 hours? You can sit back, you'll watch Sunday, no doubt, and see how that unfolds. But is there an advantage to having played the Friday?
Oh, look, that's the way the NRL draw was. I think at the Raiders won against the Bronx, we might have been playing Sunday. So it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, it happened, and the NRL wanted to do that draw. So, look, 9 days, 6 days, I don't think it really matters a whole heap. Unless you've got a lot of niggles in your team, you might need those couple of days off, but... who knows? It might benefit us. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow night.
A word on the work of Big Stefano, who set the platform early.
Yeah, well, obviously with Nelson having 3 weeks there, it wasn't ideal. Having that extra depth like Stefano in our team and the way he's played this year, he's been enormous, and hopefully we can get Big Nelson going and go from there next year. Like, as much as we love to have Nelson in our team, he's such an integral part to our team. If we can get him going next year with him and Stefano, the world's our oyster.
Another grand final, what's the week going to look like for you?
Enjoy the moment, enjoy the week. Obviously, we had a journey, we had a plan to come in the grand final. Everyone in the NRL wants to make a grand final, and we can't let this moment slip. We did it last year against Penrith, and look, really excited to get another chance next week, and we just got to enjoy the week. Can't let the week get a hold of us. Even though our prep has to be Mickey Mouse, that's not always going to mean you're going to play good on the weekend. So we need to make sure we clean up a lot of our things, and if we can do that, we'll be all right.
Okay, you got a preference coming out of Sunday?
They're both good teams. 6 for grand finals in a row with Penrith? You can't fault them with the team they've got. They keep producing great players and players that just keep doing roles. And when you got Reece Walsh in the Bronx like they've got a stroke pair everywhere. It's going to be a nice game tomorrow night, and all the best to him.
Thanks, Cameron.
No worries, thank you.
Cameron Munster, and what a year he has had. You remember during Origin time, fronting up to captain his state and lead Queensland to victory in that Origin series around the time of the death of his father, and now back here in Clubland, continuing to play a huge hand for his beloved Storm. And there's a kangaroo tour at the end of the year waiting for him as well. Great work with Ian Cohen downstairs with one of the biggest names in the competition, Cameron Munster, who tonight equalled Jesse Bromwich with 28 finals in the NRL. And that means next week he will step beyond him and into outright 10th in the all-time finals played. Of course, Cameron Smith leads that stat with 42 finals. But now Cam Munster tonight he stepped equal 10th of all-time finals played in the NRL, and he'll go outright into that group now. Down to Will Kennedy from the Sharks, who's been good enough to spend some time here with Ian Cohen.
Yeah, he's wandering across, obviously, the terra firma without the boots on. The body's probably pretty sore as well. Will talk to us about, no doubt, disappointment, but a lot of positives coming out of the season for the Sharks.
Yeah, no, very disappointed in the result. It just didn't go our way. We just forced it upon ourselves, I think, and then, they just got away with the score, and then,
Was it discipline? That was the message out of the sheds at half-time. Was that part of the downfall? There was opportunities that you missed, or it bottled at that stage?
Yeah, just probably discipline, and then just little moments. They were big moments, and we just missed them, and just missed it.
How hard has the journey been for the last 3 or 4 weeks when everything has been elimination on the way through?
Yeah, it's been very hard, but I think we've enjoyed the ride. It's just fell short, and it's disappointing, but we can't do much about it now.
And what does the club take out of it, though? So it's going to be a long off season. We know that, and then into pre-season. What do you take out of it?
Yeah, just the way finals footy goes. I think it's it's a different beast, and we just got to learn from it and then just take it into next year.
Appreciate your time, Will.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Great work, Koza, and great to hear those players fronting up, as they should, to no matter what the result, to share some reaction with their fans. You listening, great work from Ian, who now he's going to work his way down to the rest of the Melbourne Storm group who were there. And I'm just trying to have a quick look from who's going to be playing a grand final that hasn't played a grand final before. Adavalu Lasati's won.
Big Stefano, mate.
Stefano Utuikamanu. Not such a bad move from the West Tigers to come to this part of the world and play a footy.
But he hasn't just been a passenger, has he? He's really laid the platform. He got brought to the Melbourne Storm to do a job, and he's doing that job unbelievably well.
Has Alec McDonald played in a grand final?
He might have played last year. Did he play last year?
Yeah, we'll check all of those things anyway, but there's certainly a couple there in Utuikamanu and Lasati who are doing it for the first time. Back to Koza.
You spoke about Stefano. He's been kind enough to join us. You set the platform early, no doubt about that. Tell us about that work ethic and what Craig Bellamy has said to you, not only this week, but for the whole season.
Craig's pretty big on, those little effort areas, and I feel like when you're doing that and he tells us to play to our strengths, I feel like, my kind of strength is carrying the ball, and I just try to get the ball as much as I can and get us on the front foot, and I feel like that was probably the main thing I focused on that first half, especially at the start. I got the kick-off carry, so I was trying to set up, get our team on the front foot, and that was my main focus in the first half.
Who have you been working with most since your arrival here at Melbourne Storm?
Ryan Hinchcliffe has been a massive one for me. Him, Craig, Toddy, like all of the coaches are pretty good. MB, Azar, as I said before, the effort areas is a big thing in this team, and not just the effort areas, but our defence. He makes a big emphasis on everyone to make their tackles, make sure individually make your tackles, and as a team we work together. So I felt like we did that today, and it's good to get the win.
It's been an amazing season for you. You must be very happy, obviously, with the change. And now, talk to us about an opportunity at a grand final. I can see the big smile.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This time last year, I was probably laying down and watching finals footy, and it's a big change this year. And I'm happy I came here. This is probably the best decision of my career so far, and I can't wait to see who we verse on next week.
What are your expectations going into the week? Because there's so much more pomp and ceremony, there's a lot more things to do. What are your expectations going into this week?
Probably just take it a day at a time. There's a pretty big build-up. We have, two more days till the next game, so I feel like it's good to have a bit of a rest going into that week. And as a team, I feel like everyone's got to freshen up, and when we see who we're going to verse next week, that's probably when we're going to nail down and focus on what we need to do to win.
Have you got a preference coming out of Sunday's match?
Nah, not really. I feel like as a team we've been pretty good at focusing on ourselves, and not just me, but everyone individually. We all bring different strengths to the team, and when we come on game day and everyone brings the best game, that's when we play our best footy.
Nearly 30,000 in the house tonight. They gave you a huge round of applause when you came off. What's it been like playing in front of these crowds?
It's probably the best feeling, just coming out and seeing all the purple jerseys everywhere. It's been a massive help for us this year. Coming to every home game, and I think I've only lost one or two games at home this year. So big rap to the crowd for giving us the energy, not just the crowd but also the members too. They're massive for us boys on the field, and they give us lots of energy. Even when I came off, I was pretty excited just coming off, and everyone's giving me a rap, so that's pretty mad.
Congratulations, your first grand final.
Thank you, appreciate it. Cheers, mate.
Great work, Ian Cohen with Stefano Utuikamanu.